we're on the earth, but where the question means where the actual question means where is our solar system located?
Our solar
That
system.
is,
Okay.
yeah, of course we're on earth, but where is the earth located on the sun? So where is our solar system located on the universe? Is halfly correct.
Okay. We are circulating the sun and the moon is circulating us. Am I right there?
Yes.
Well, at least I know I learned something, right? And
Yeah, very well.
possibly we are, I don't know, who's next to us, Pluto or Mars? I forgot. Is that what
Pluto
you
is
mean?
far away from us, but okay. Well, it depends on. Well, he gave his answer based on we're on Earth, okay, but that's a big answer. That's not very definite.
Yes. We are one of so many planets that is circulating the sun.
Very well.
That our position is somewhere in the universe, and
yeah,
it's a pity I don't know who my neighbors are on Earth. I mean, outside of Earth. The moon, I know, but beyond that, I don't know. But sorry, I see somebody is giving an answer.
Oh.
Let me see. Somebody said, I think our universe is called Milky, right? I think
that's the perfect answer. That's right.
Isn't it Milky
so.
Way?
Is she right? What is it called? The Milky
Way?
The Milky Way
Galaxy.
Yeah.
Perfectly, yes. That's where we are.
Oh, excellent. That is Mr. Licasso. Licasso, well done. Come on, you deserve
Thank you,
this.
Mr. Licasso.
You got there. You got there. Getting warm. Getting warm. Or is it the right answer? Is it the right answer?
Yes, that's the right one because we're at the Milky Way Galaxy.
Milky Way Galaxy.
Wow, well done. Well, for me, you get a super applause. There you go. You did it.
Mr. Constellation, by the way,
I can get it.
How many, I know we have different suns out there and different moons. How many of those have they discovered? Do you know?
Yeah, currently we have multiverses, we have multi-stars. So currently we are still discovering, but we are on less than 20 planets right now, which we've discovered, moving around the sun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. So I move on to the next.
Sorry, before you go to
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, before you go to the next one, I want can I ask you a question regarding what you mentioned the last time?
Very well. Yeah.
You said you discovered that all the stars came from the same source. Were you able to know which source they came from?
Yes.
From which?
You know, the universe, that's the constellation. Okay, not as a name, that the constellation, like the pattern. It's so big. So we are humans. Our knowledge is very finite. So what we don't know, we use our ignorance to hide some info, to hide some things. So the question to that answer you said is that source, we don't know the name, we just gave it a word called singularity. We don't know where we came from. That's all the stars, but we know that they came from this end. We know they came from here. Like this must be where they started traveling from, this point. So beyond that point, we don't know. So what we did was we called that very point the origin of our universe. That is where we came from. So the answer is singularity, a point of everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second question.
Okay.
You said everything within the universe moves. The stars,
very well.
Everything they move.
Yes.
The movement, those movement, for instance, the sun at the end, is it constant or is it keep on increasing or decreasing depending on the movement, whether they are moving further or they are moving within, or as the earth is moving, at the rate the earth is moving, the stars are moving so also. You understand? Because you said everything moves.
Well, let's see this way. Okay, cool. The answer to that question looks bulky, so I have to explain very well. Everything on the universe. Let's start with our sun. Okay, I'm going to neglect our I will neglect our Earth because we are moving around the sun and the sun is burning and moving still. So the sun is a star. Okay. So our star is moving at some speed. Other stars are moving at some speed. So every different stars are moving at different speed. That action shift, because now we go to Germany, we go to Nanjing, we have a very huge something called Hubble's telescope. Like that's a very huge telescope. You can view, you can zoom night sky, on the night sky, you can zoom the stars and look at their movement. So when you check those Hubble's telescope in Nanjing and in Germany, you find out that different stars are having different velocities, moving different ways, different areas. So we are all moving around at different speed. Some of them are even slowing down, but we'll discuss that in the next chapter. Yeah, I don't know if I answered the question.
It's okay. You can continue the presentation.
Okay, excellent. Let's go now to.
Okay.
Can you please continue, Dr. Edmund?
Okay. Okay, cool.
I hope you
Now,
are having fun and all your questions were answered.
yeah.
Leica Sue has a question.
Can we do this later?
Okay.
Please hold on to your question, write it in the chat box, and I will definitely get back to you. Don't forget, after the presentation, there is enough space available for more questions, for networking. So don't worry, we will get back to you. Okay, please, Dr. Edmund, can you continue? Thank you.
Okay, the next topic is the red shift. Actually, they are all the same topic, but they are just branches of each other. So this part, I won't read so much. I just go on the explanation to make it more swift. So, like he said, the last speaker, he asked a question that are different stars or bodies moving at different wherever. Yes, the answer is yes. As you can see, now we have two kind of movements in space. Two kind of movements. It's either because we are using we are on Earth, so we are using ourselves as reference to other things. Of course, because we have to reference, we have to make one body stationary, which is, although we are not stationary, but we have to just assume that we are stationary while we make our conclusion or our experiment on other physical or astral quantities. So right now, when we view the night skies, we can identify, because we have to identify the stars we see in the night skies. So there are only two ways to identify the stars. It is either you are blue shifting, or you are red shifting. So as you can see on this image here, I don't know if it's clear enough. So if you see a star that is blue shifting, it means that the star is coming close to the Earth. So which means that there are some stars that are moving at a speed coming towards our direction. So we call those stars blue shifting. Then why all the stars or quantities we see moving away from us, like far away from us, then we call it red shifting. So that's basically what it means. Now, why do we have to identify blue shift and red shift? It's very important because you want to make some conclusions on some terrestrial bodies. You have to know, you have to understand their movement, their motion, where they're heading to. So once you are able to tell that, oh, this star, for example, this star must be red shifting, then if you are calculating the velocity of that star, you have to put into consideration, because you cannot, it's difficult to calculate a moving object, the velocity of a moving object. Okay? When a car is moving further and you're calculating the velocity, you should get the acceleration first, right? That you should know what speed it is moving at. So that's why we use the red shifting or the blue shifting. Oh, I found out that, for example, that Rhea is traveling from Beijing, for example, she's traveling from Beijing to Tianjin, and I don't know where she's traveling to, but I know she's moving at a rate of 5 kilometers per second, for example. That's what I can see. She's moving at the rate of 5 kilometers per second. Once I can identify her rate of movement, and I will identify if she's blue shifting or red shifting, of course, I will identify her sphere, right? Probably I have to put into place of gravity, what kind of gravity she's operating on. Then I can boldly tell you where she came from. I don't know it's Beijing she came from, but based on her movement, her rate of speed, the gravity she was operating on, I can tell you where she must have started from. Because despite we say everything is moving with different speed on space, trust me, everything is moving at different speed, but they are slowing down a bit. Because energy is not infinite. So if I should see this cup moving to 20 kilometers per second, if I should look at this cup after 10 years time, I will notice a very tiny retardation of its movement. Probably it will drop down to 19.9999 speed, but some of them are slowing down, some of them are increasing. The ones slowing down, if you observe their movement, they've probably been traveling for a long time, so their energy, their fuel, is getting less. Why the ones that are having a real speed are the ones that just began their movement. So that's just the area about the blue shift and the red shift. The next topic is the question time.
All right, time for questions, everyone.
Okay.
Give an example of red shift or blue shift. Go to the chat room and write your answer now. You know the drill by now. If you don't answer, we just call on one of you. Give an example of red shift or blue shift. Mr. Constellation, let's see. Are you going to be giving the answers to number one yet? The very first question yet? Or are you going to
Okay.
wait until the end?
Let me say, okay, his question was, okay, I have a question, don't know if it's related. My question are, all the planets and moons are moving clockwise, and why? Okay, his question was, if I can understand it clearly, was the planet and moon are moving clockwise. That's his question. The planet and moon are moving clockwise. Well, let me give a general view of moon. Let me give a general view of our planet and the moon. So this is our planet, for example, this cup here. So we are moving around. We are moving around the sun. Let's assume this is the sun. So we are moving the sun. Our planet is moving around the sun. That's what we do around the sun. So our planet, that's this one. The moon is a third body. So the moon is moving around the earth. The moon is moving around the earth. The moon and the earth is moving around the sun. So it is the effect of the moon moving around the earth that casts the shadows. That's why we experience night. Otherwise, we will not experience night. We will always experience daytime. So whenever you see night, like now in China, it means that the moon is somewhere around the China axis, blocking the sun. So that's why we experience night. So the answer to his question is it's not precise, because the moon is moving around the earth, and the earth and the moon, they're moving around the sun. Clockwise or anti-clockwise, it doesn't really matter, but both bodies are moving around the sun.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor. Now, Ria, do we have an answer yet for giving an example of red shift or blue shift? Ria?
No, not yet.
Well, it's time to pick on your students.
Let's see. Who is there? Okay. How about Emmy? Is Emmy there? Emmy, are you there? Hello.
Hello, can I be
Sorry.
heard?
Hi guys.
Hello,
Is Emmy
can I be
there?
heard?
Yes, well, you can be heard with the wind, but we can hear you.
Can you hear
Hello,
me,
Emmy.
please?
Can you give me the answer?
Um, like he said, if you're considering like a star traveling, if the light appears, if it's traveling towards us, it's the light will appear, and then it's blue shift, or if it's traveling away, then it's red shift.
Yes, but the question is an example.
Um,
So tell me, Dr. Edmund, was that the right answer?
Well, again, the answers are halfly correct.
Okay, that's good
Yeah.
to hear.
Yeah.
You're gonna leave us hanging again?
Like star. Okay. Well,
By the
Okay, we
way,
can continue
Doctor,
then
by the
okay.
way,
to the
Well,
next.
Dr. Constellation, I have a quick question. Do you
Okay.
think maybe that when they're moving toward us, maybe the reflection of the sea, um, is that why we get the name blue? Maybe.
the reflection of the sea.
Yeah, the water. Yeah. Re,
Um,
if the sun is shining and then it's reflecting on it, and then maybe the blue color. I don't know. Do you know why we use the blue color instead of any other color?
yes, very well. We use actually the blue and red came from spectrum, came from the same Hubble's telescope, because when
Okay.
we view them on from the telescope, it's really huge. So when we view them from the telescope, you know,
Yeah.
if the speed is just a name to identify them, that oh, red means away
Okay.
and blue means to you. It's
Okay.
just no, yeah. The name has nothing to do with you know
Can
what it
I?
does actually. Yeah.
Okay. Can I have ask questions? It's
Okay,
a
sure.
question, but as other sub questions, which
Okay.
relates to the question that was asked on the platform regarding an
Okay.
example of the blue or red shifts stars. Now,
Okay.
if the blue stars, the blue shift stars are moving towards the Earth, do they crash on the Earth? Number one. If they are coming, I mean, if they are moving towards, it means that one day they will get to the Earth. Will they? Now, apart from this, that's question number one. Question number two, apart from the sun and the moon, which you told us are stars too, the stars we view at night that is always shining in the sky, how do they look like?
Okay.
Since you have viewed them, you understand. Number two, like
Yeah.
the question was, do they crash? Then question number three, do they
Okay.
clash if they move, clashing against each other, things like that? That's the
Okay.
question
So
number
so
three.
so okay. So if I should get you, so the first one is the 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 stars coming towards our direction. Do they will they
Crash,
crash with us?
yeah. Hmm.
Okay. So,
Will
so
they
maybe I
land
take
on
it
it?
one by.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So now, um, I will look at it from two sides, but the same meaning. The first side is if you're a Christian, or if you're from the Christian side. Well, I'm not into the Christian side that deep, but when you ask the Christians, they will tell you from the Bible that the Bible predicted the end of the earth, the end of the world, per se, and it has to do with from what I saw, it has to do with some kind of lunar eruption. That's to say, there'll be fire from up, something like that. That is from the Christian side. Of course, every religions have their side, but from the physics, from the physical, from the cosmological view, the end of the universe have so many like there are lots of ways our universe, sorry, but our earth, for example, is going to end. So one of the ways which we are going to experience this end is what you just said now, because of course, there are some stars that are coming towards our direction currently with some speed that's like they are covering some spaces. And by calculations, I think the closest one would take about 3 million years to arrive to hit us. So that's one way which science predict that our solar system is going to die. That's one way. So when you say the stars are coming towards our direction, yes, the answer is yes. They will definitely crash with us by calculations. Then the other ways is just to go further in your question. Currently, we are moving around the sun every single second. So the more we are going around the sun, the more we are getting closer to the sun. So the more we are going around, the more we are getting closer. So by calculation again, it will take about 2 to 3 million years, whereby we will be so close to the sun that, I don't know if you can see my hand, that the earth will be swallowed inside the sun. So the answer to the first question means yes, there are some stars coming to our direction that might crash with us based on blue shifting.
So basically, what you're saying is that if one of these um, stars crash because of whatever turbulence in the universe,
Yeah.
with us, that it can accelerate this process. Am I hearing it well? Have I understood this well? That this can happen? That you're saying not about maybe so many million years, but it can be accelerated in a shorter time if any of these possibilities happen?
Yes, sure. But we should put it, but the question is so complex. A lot of quantities lot of checks to do. Now,
Mhm,
despite those stars are coming towards our direction, despite those,
mhm,
let's call them body, just to make it more easy. Despite
mhm,
those bodies are coming towards our direction, we should have it in
mhm,
mind that this because the sun has cast electromagnetic flux.
mhm.
So which means that if any external body should hit us, first of all, the sun will catch it. The sun's electromagnetic field will catch that body first and make the body revolve around the sun. So the only reason why anybody can hit us directly, that body must be very, very huge to outsmart the electromagnetic field. Otherwise, if it's not strong enough, the sun is going to catch it and it will make it revolve around it. The sun will trap it just where we are trapped on sun.
Well, then why is it that I can't pronounce the word meteor, M-E, yeah. Why is it that
Yeah.
they keep hitting the earth?
Is it only the
why does
Earth,
Neto what?
or is it other planets as well? Let me
No,
ask it
no,
like
it
that.
hit the earth. They hit the earth many times, don't they?
You mean NATO?
No, I can't pronounce the word meteor or something. M-E-T. They're
Maybe it's
like
asteroid
uh,
or comet.
I thought, yeah, comets, yeah.
Comet, yeah.
Why? Why do they keep approaching the earth? Where is the sun to protect us against those?
Yeah. Again, on our solar system, we are not, when you take a flight outside Earth, like at the boundary of Earth, when you take a flight and you look from that side, you are not going to see other planets. At the boundary, there are a lot of rocks and stones revolving around the sun, revolving around the earth. So there are a lot of rocks. So in fact, the earth is a rock. The earth was a rock. So there are other rocks which we call comets that are also in the business of movement.
Okay.
So it is very obvious that we have, if not millions of rocks moving around the sun with us. So somehow, some ways, by calculations, you will find out that one of those rocks somehow they might lose control. Maybe one of the rock has blocked the magnetic field of this particular comet, then it will lose its way. So if any of them lose their way, they will definitely hit the planet close to them, which is probably us or Mars. So it's just unfortunate. Yeah.
Okay. I see that there is a question from Mr. Shani. Mr. Shani, if you can unmute your mic and ask the question.
Yes.
Because I see your hand was up.
Yeah. It's very interesting subject. I'm so happy to be here. So what I can understand is the end must come, because first we can be swallowed by our protector, who is the sun. So the sun will swallow us one day. And then after that, another bigger sun or bigger star will swallow all of us. That's how we make the black holes, right? That's how black holes will come. So the end will be there, whatever we do, right? Thank you.
Okay. So
Dr.
I didn't get you
Edmund, can you
clear.
answer that?
Yeah. So can you come again? Was that a question or?
No. Yeah. I know. I said as I can. What you said is we are moving close to the sun.
Very
we are
well.
also moving close to the sun. So one day the sun will swallow us.
Very well.
And another big star also. Then another big star will swallow our sun and will swallow all others. So all stars will come together. They'll come together, and they how to say it? Anyway, that's how the black hole will be born. So the end, so the end will happen. Whatever we do, there's no any protection for that. The end will happen.
What is your question, please? Can you be brief and tell us all these things? Or is your question?
Anyway, we can't escape the end. I just want the.
Sure. You are absolutely right. We can't escape the end.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you.
But don't worry, we won't be alive. That's like billions of years.
Sorry, another question, please.
Okay.
Would there be, or is it likely to be a commotion, confusion, war, or things like that, that apart from destroying ourselves physically here, that could make the cosmos and all those stars to crash on us, that will enhance it? You have predicted 3 million years. Is it likely to be a kind of an occurrence that instead of 3 years, it will just happen in the next maybe, let's say 50,000 years? I mean, instead of 3 million years, it will happen, let's say in next 50, something that could enhance or make it faster for the destruction of this earth through cosmos confusion.
Well, to answer that question from my view and from the astro view, well, the answer is yes. Because, for example, you can see what happened recently on COVID-19. Sorry, I have to cite that reference to explain this better. You can see that when COVID-19 came in 2019, that's a proof that our medicine is not as strong as we thought it was. Because till now, we are still looking for the right vaccine. So it's the same scenario in the physical quantities, in the physical world, physics world. Most countries now, especially the US and partly of France, they are really trying to build and China still, they are really trying to build their space research lab, because there are a lot of things that might happen that might spring up some kind of, because now we don't know how many comets are there close to the Earth, even though it's on paper that there are about some few that is predicted to hit that. We don't really know, because what we know is what we put on papers or online. So the answer to that question is, I think if we should increase our research abilities, especially on cosmos, then we can see, we can identify the higher risk and think of how to put them first. And the only person doing that right now it's NASA and Elon Musk, which is to explore Mars.
Elon Musk is from which part?
Well, it's South African, but was working for the US.
Okay.
Okay, so I move to the next part. Moderators?
Yes, it's best because
Okay.
actually we're already at the end of the program. It's already 9:10. So,
Okay.
Dr. Edmund, if you could start going towards
Okay.
wrapping up.
Okay, so let me see wormholes. Okay, I'll make it brief so we can skip to the end.
Okay.
So wormholes, just like you see on the pictures. So the work of wormholes is to connect two distance, and that answers the question of the first speaker. He asked the question about 1845. So wormholes, the work of a wormhole is just I don't know. It's mostly in Africa, probably. Sometimes you see some kind of breeze circling around, creating a spiral shape. That's just the artificial wormhole. But the real wormhole is in space, somewhere in space. And we can think of it like this. Let me see, bring some white papers here. We can think of a wormhole because...
Unfortunately, our people in Africa call it juju.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, juju. Yeah. But in physics, we call it wormhole. Because wormholes, it connects two distance, it connects two huge distance together.
I'm sorry, laughing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Emilia. I'm sorry, everybody, but it really got me.
Right.
But it's true. It is true, but it's quite funny how you brought it. Sorry.
That's right.
Okay, continue.
Okay.
Please continue. That was my moment of weakness. Sorry.
Okay, sure. Wormholes. Okay, that's right. Okay, wormhole in space. We look at space because we can't see space. We cannot see space. So what we do is we just imagine that space is like this, a sheet of paper. I don't know if you can see me. Or... Okay. Okay. We imagine that this is space for. Okay, I don't know. Okay. We imagine that this is space, a sheet of paper. It connects two huge distance together. So what it does is that in somewhere in space, negative energies, because the Earth was built on two grounds, the positive energy and the negative energy. The negative energy is what causes thunder and some kind of stuff that happens in space. So there are some points in space whereby the space bends itself. It bends itself. Now remember, from here, from the beginning of this paper to the next part, let's assume it is 4 million miles away. Okay, from here to here, 4 million miles. This is space. Now, what wormhole does is, what it does is it bends the space. Remember, the two distance from here to here is 4 million miles away. So wormhole bend the space such that if you are here, you can just, no need to travel around to the next point. You can just jump to the next part. So what it means is wormholes connect huge distances together. And what that means is that now we enter the topic of multiverse. Multiverse means that in the time of the Big Bang, there were other explosions that happened. Remember, we have billions and trillions of multiverses. That's to say, our universe is just one in trillions that happened. So if I should take stones, for example, if I should take a lot of stones on my hand, let's say 20 stones, 20, and I throw those stones into this cup, okay, and maybe I blindfold my eyes, somehow 2 or 3 stones must fall into this cup. So it's the same thing. So at the time of creation of our universe, millions and trillions of universe were exploded at the same time. So that means that it is possible on some universe that Dr. Balinga is an engineer there and is just 12 years old. It is possible that myself, I'm a banker working in the bank and I'm just 25 years old. So you can see, so there are billions of probability of what I am on other universe. So what this wormhole does, if you are lucky or unlucky, you might jump into this wormhole and you might come out in 1854, like someone said, whereby in that year, you can meet yourself because wormhole connect two distance. It has connected millions of miles away. So you might be lucky to come out from the other end of the wormhole and meet the dinosaur age or meet your great grandparents or wherever. So that's just the whole dynamics of wormholes. And to draw the conclusion, how does wormhole opens? Like how does it opens? So wormhole opens, that's this part here. Let me see my mouse. So wormhole opens with negative energy. So whenever there's a negative energy in space, it opens. And mind you, when it opens for a short time because there'll be a time it can cut out at this point. So the point whereby it breaks is called a pinch point. And if you are unlucky, if you are caught at the point of going to the next side, maybe at the middle, and it breaks there, whatever, that breaking point, it destroys anything at that point forever. So that's the whole dynamics of wormhole. So wormhole is just a tool for time travel, nothing more, just a tool for time travel to connect huge distance together. So I move to the next part, which is which is 5.1. So I basically explained 5.1 as well too. Then I move to 5. Time for the question. So the question there is,
what is the deepest plan of astrophysics? What is the deepest plan of astrophysics? Is it astrophysicist?
Yeah, what's the deepest plans? Yeah.
Yeah, but what's that word? Astrophysicist or astrophysicist?
Yeah, astrophysics, like
Astrophysicist. Okay.
Yeah.
Astrophysicist. Anyone has
Cosmologist.
the answer to that one? That's a deep one. Let's see if we have someone here who can help us. Benjamin, are you in the house?
Well, probably to be able to control the cosmos, to control and manage the cosmos. That could be a different plan.
What do you think, Doctor?
Well, because in terms of cosmology, any idea is right, but we have some kind of right ideas that we consider first as first priority. So what he said is right on some areas, but what we on Earth, because we have to set our standards to keep this on track. Okay, so our deepest plan, the deepest plan for astrophysics was what Albert Einstein did and he failed, was what physicists and mathematicians, they've all tried to do and they are all failing, is the theory of everything. Type it on the chat box. It's also on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So Albert Einstein or Steve Hawkins or they all try to create even different professors and different researchers, they are trying to create a single formula that can be used everywhere. They are trying to, because once you can find a single, call it a model or a formula or whatever, then we can be able to use it to explore other fields of science. One of the greatest so far is the E equals to mc squared, but that was not the theory of everything, because the E, I type on the chat box. Okay, because the E equals to mc squared, that's what's, this formula is, it's almost the theory of everything, but not. Because the E means energy. So Albert Einstein told us that energy is equal to mass times the speed of light squared. Now, what that means is, I'll be very practical here on this part. What it means is, this is the formula that is responsible for the war in Iraq, I should say, between the US and Iraq or Iran, and I'll explain why. Now, remember, if the only thing we are looking for right now is how we can be able to beat the speed of light, how we can be able to travel from China to US in 2 seconds, how we can be able to travel from Earth to Mars in 4 seconds. That's what we're looking for. That's what physicists is looking for. Astrophysics, chemists, that's what most of the fields of science or engineering are looking for. How to kill time. So when you look at the formula which Albert Einstein proposed, he said energy is equal to your mass. So that's to say, your mass, that is your weight in kilograms, for example, your weight and your speed. Okay, if you have enough, if you have weight and speed, you cannot go infinite, because you need infinite energy to drive your weight and that speed. So the reason why countries do fight, what I think, is because whoever hold the uranium, right, the atomic bombs, because those are explosive. A uranium bomb of this size, it can blow up, it can blow out the whole of it can blow out a country of this size. Elon Musk said that also, if you hold it, the uranium or the atomic wherever, if you use it well, it can bring electricity. A small quantity like this can light up a whole city for electricity. No need for solar energy, no. So the Iranians or the Kuwait and some of the Arab countries that possess these natural resources, these natural resources they possess, it can be used for the betterment of the human race. And at the same time, it can be used to destroy the world. So to keep the topic short, our deepest plan of astrophysics is to look for a single module or formula which we call the theory of everything.
Because isn't it true that E equals mc squared is just an approximation? It's not really even 100% correct.
Very well.
Sorry, I have one question. Really, that what you're telling me
Okay.
there, it's so interesting. And my question is, sorry that I bombard you like this, but my question is, how come that there is so much uranium in Africa, and how come that we cannot have actually all the electricity of the world? If such a small particular can make so much,
Okay.
why not? What is the problem here? I really would like to know. Really, you blew my mind. Hearing this, it
Okay.
means there are solutions there, but why are we not using it? Forgive me for this.
Okay, sure.
Doctor, if you don't mind, I'll answer that one.
Okay, sure. So let's get out to answer first, then before I speak. Okay.
Yes, go, Emilia. Tell me, because your country has the most, right?
Rita,
Congo.
Ria, remember when I introduced myself, I spoke of June the 30th, which is the
Yes,
independence of Congo
yes, I know.
from Belgium. Okay,
Yes.
where do you think all that uranium goes to? The Western world. Why did Europe colonize Africa? They took all the natural resources. Yeah, and we can't say much about our host country, but you know as well as I do, some of that goes on too right now in Africa. So the natives that are there do not benefit from it because the politicians give it to other countries. But that's a topic for another Zoom session.
Yes, please. I need
Okay.
that topic. I really need that topic. So let's put it on the map. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Okay. Yes, continue, please. Sorry for the
Okay.
Okay.
interruption.
Okay. So to
Okay.
just throw small light on that area. So
Yeah.
her question was, why does some countries or Africa has these natural resources and they can't use it to give themselves light? So I think that there's one thing to have something, there's another thing to know how to use it. So with knowledge, with information, if the people of that country or that nation they know how to use what they have, then I think I think I think they will get what they want because just a cup of uranium or uh, their natural resources which they have, be it lithium or whatever, it can power a whole city if they know how to use it. I'm sorry to cut you short. In 2016, I was opportune to meet a pilot. His name is Professor Davinda. He's from Australia. We met in Liaoning province. So I asked him a question, very direct question, that, sir, please tell me how does atomic bomb works? Because I couldn't believe that just a small cup of a bomb can blow up a whole city. So he told me then, after research, so then I was just a novice. So he told me that when you light up an atomic bomb or the uranium, it has because it has a molecular structure. You know, everything on Earth, everything has a structure. So that element itself has some structures that when you light it up, it takes an atom. You can imagine an atom, an electron, an atom, a small atom blows out. Maybe it can blow out into about 1 meter. Now, when it blows out, now each subatomic atom in that atoms that blows out, they work with air. So if there's oxygen, the more there's oxygen, the more it keep exploding itself out. So you can imagine the structure that when something blows out of this size can blow out into 1 meter. Okay, it can blow up anything into 1 meter. Now, if there's oxygen around that area, which of course is always oxygen, so it will suck in the molecules are built in such a way, naturally built in such a way that it collects oxygen and blow out itself. It collects oxygen and blow out itself. So which means when you blow up a single cup, it can blow up a whole country, something like that. It's all about the structures.
That's very scary, by the way. How much
Yeah,
power
that's
is
right.
in that? Very
Yeah,
scary.
it's yeah, the earth is rich. Okay, I move to the next question, the next slide. We're almost done. We're on twin paradox. So I already explained this twin paradox at the previous slide, so I just do a glimpse here. So the twin paradox is what I said in the 1950s. An experiment was carried out, and some scientists entered the spaceship, traveled around the Earth twice, and when he came back to Earth, 2 hours was lagging, right? So which means that the faster you go, that is a fact already. The faster you move, the slower your time. Take a note. For example, you enter the flight. For example, you can check your wristwatch. Look at the time you enter the flight from let's say from China to US. Check your time. Maybe you entered your flight 8 p.m. China time. Now, keep your clock moving. So when you get to the US, forget about US time. When you get to the US, check your time. So when you check your time in the US, you'll find out that your time probably is showing maybe 5 a.m. That's what your time tells you, 5 a.m., for example. Now call your friend in China, ask him, what's your time? So your friend in China will tell you his time is 4:55 a.m. So which means the more you move, the slower your time becomes. So which means if you travel to US every time, you are probably doing time travel because you are killing some time. You become more young, but your age is probably younger by seconds or by minutes. So that's just the whole idea of twin paradox. The question there is, yeah.
All we have to do is just keep traveling in space. And
Yeah,
then
keep traveling.
yeah.
For real, I need this, man. Tell me, how long do I have to travel to
When we
live
come
at
back,
least a
everybody
few
will
years?
be dead.
Yeah,
A few years
that's in
is
the next
enough to get
chapter,
me
chapter
slim
7.
again.
That's right.
Is twin paradox a theory fact or
Yeah,
proven fact?
that's a quick answer there.
Yeah. Okay, answer that, people. Quick, quick. Is twin paradox theory fact or proven fact? He just proved it to us, guys. Come on now. Somebody answer it quickly. Mr.
It's a proven
Michael.
fact.
Michael, go ahead and answer it. I want you to prove to us you're not in the kitchen making fufu. Is twin paradox a theory fact or is it a proven fact? Michael,
Come
going
on,
once.
Michael, you're the best at it. Chayo, chayo.
Okay, Michael, come on now.
You can do it. Come on. The answer is there. Just read it up.
All right. Okay, Michael is hiding from us. Nancy, how about you? What do you think, Nancy? Is twin paradox a theory fact or is it a proven fact? Nancy?
Okay, I think it's a proven fact because he explained using traveling from one continent to the other.
Okay. So what do you think? You think that that kind of traveling will keep us younger?
Well, I think we should try it out because I'm still wondering how a few seconds younger would accumulate to making.
I know that in America right now, the space travel is a big thing, and those billionaires are beginning to book flights already to go in space and so on. So if that's the case, and there's COVID, they can just run out there and then come back like maybe 50 years from now.
Hmm.
Yeah, uh, okay, let me come from a very layman's view. You know, the faster we move, the slower time becomes. So the real question to ask is, what can give us that speed? Because once we get the speed of light is the fastest speed in the universe right now, which is 3 times 10 raised 3 million, 3 times 10 raised to power 8 meter per seconds. That's the speed of light currently. Is the fastest stuff in the world. So on the next chapter, you will see some certain things. If we humans can get something that can propel our aircraft, for example, that if our aircraft can travel as fast as the speed of light, which means that if we travel for about 5 minutes and you come back to Earth, now you experience 5 minutes in the flight, okay? You experience 5 minutes. But when you come back to Earth, the people here on Earth, they've experienced more than 40 years. So which means that when you attain to the speed of light, your time inside your flight is zero. It doesn't move. It's zero. It does not move because you are moving with the speed of. But for you to have that energy to propel that speed, that's the problem. That's what we call the nuclear exploration, because it's only nuclear currently that we can convert the energy in nuclear to propel that speed. So with the nuclear weapon, with the nuclear experiment and stuff like that, we can achieve all these things currently.
Sorry, another. Can I just chip in?
Sure.
I
Okay.
read somewhere Russia and US and probably
Yeah.
China, they
Yeah.
have some rocket launchers that can go from US to Russia or to China within 1 hour,
Yeah.
less than 1 hour. Is it
Yes.
based on the same?
Yes. Now, those rockets, of course, those rocket that goes to the space or to the moon, they are using just a bit of nuclear, of gas. It's gaseous. They are just using just a bit. So you can see from your example you gave, it's highly achievable. The Russian can blow their rocket or wherever from their country to the US in less than 30 in less than 40 minutes.
Exactly.
And together. Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why the U.S. has refrained from doing anything with the Ukrainian war, because they don't want New York City being blown out of
Being blown up,
proportion
yeah.
in 30 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a proven fact. There, 15 minutes, cool. So we move to the next chapter 7. We're almost there. It's ending in chapter 8. So this part, we talk about the age of the universe. How old are we? How old did our universe begin, including the sun, everything, just our general age. So these are real calculations here, so we'll do it brief. So now, how did we come up with the age of 13.8 billion years? But that's our age right now for our universe. So what we did was, for simplicity, we just focus on 2 galaxies. But in fact, in reality, we put into consideration about 100 different galaxies. So what we did was, we pinpoint maybe one student or one researcher, he handles a particular galaxy. Remember, galaxy consists of the sun and some planets and all those things inside. So don't see galaxy as just, singular. It has a lot of properties inside. So when we check with the use of Hubble's telescope, when we check a galaxy, we can identify the mu. We call it mu. That's by supernova, luminosity, and brightness. Now, when we look at the galaxy with that Hubble's telescope, we can find out, because we don't know the distance. So how can we get the distance? We use C-fied variables, which I stated earlier on. So with C-fied variables, you can find out the brightness of this galaxy. So according to the brightness and the way the galaxy glows, shines, we can now tell, oh, this galaxy must be 300 mega light years. That is this galaxy. Then we can identify the delta of that galaxy. That's to say, how is this galaxy moving? Like we have to know the speed, right? So we found out, oh, this galaxy is moving by 6,300 kilometers per second by using Doppler shift. Now, Doppler shift is a special topic entirely, so we don't want to go into that right now. So now, one galaxy, we find out the mu. Mu means how far this galaxy has traveled. So it means this galaxy has traveled for 300 mega light years. Remember, 1 light year is 100,000 years. So you can imagine, oh, this galaxy is 300 MLY. The delta is this. Okay, we keep that fact. We do the same thing for the next galaxy. We get the mu and the speed. As you can see, every galaxy has their speed. This one is moving by 6,300 kilometers per second. This one is moving by 10,400. So different galaxies with a different speed, and of course with their different mu. That's how long they've traveled. So according to this, then we use something called HO. HO is called a Hubble's constant. It's just a name of a professor, a researcher, an astrophysicist who discovered that, oh, you can actually use my name to calculate, you know, uh, to calculate how far some galaxies are moving in space. So the formula for the Hubble's constant is delta by mu, which is per seconds. In fact, Hubble's constant is per seconds. That's the unit, per seconds. So when you do it very well, you divide the mu by delta, you find out, oh, this guy traveled 23 kilometers. This guy is 21 kilometers. So now this is the short table. So you can check it out here. Let's assume the first galaxy one, the Hubble's constant is 21, 23, 22, you can see. So you can take note, all of them, they are just evolving around a particular domain. I think the lowest domain is 18 to 23. So when you take the mean value of everything, you get 21.616. Now that's the HO, that's the Hubble's constant, 21.616. So now, but when the experiment was done, it was not just 10, it was thousands of data that gave these values. But just for this presentation, we just limit some informations. Then now, remember, we have Hubble's constant as 21.616. So we want to convert this value to age, because we on Earth, we use age. That's what we understand, age. We don't have time for these parameters, which is seconds, mega light years. Mega light years are for stars. We human beings on Earth, we use age. So we have to convert the 21.61, that's 22 approximately. So we convert 22 to age. Now, how many light year make one mega light year? That's 10 to power 6, okay? That's this one. How many light year, how many kilometer make one light year? That's 10 to the power of 13, okay? How many seconds are there in a minute? 60 seconds, 1 minute, 60 minutes, 1 hour, 24 hours, 1 day, 365 days or 366 days, leap year, make 1 year. So when we do all these calculations onto the HO, that's 22, then you can times it with calculator, then you find out the age of the universe is 13.8 billion years old as of today. Now, this information is properly defined on, it's a proven fact already on Wikipedia, so you can check it out there. You will get 13.7 something, but in approximation, it's 13.8 billion years old. That is the age of of everything on Earth, including the fish, the stones. This was when we started moving, because before we were still on one place, which we call the singularity. So our movement started 13.8 billion years ago. So if you take it back in time, so before that time, we were just here. And of course, that was probably the time of creation. So anything back was when someone, which we call God, existed. Anything back. But from here was where we started. Then the next is a question for that chapter.
What is the age of our universe as of today? In fact, how old is the world? This goes with the question someone asked in the chat and said, all of this boils down to who we are and where we're going. How did we end up here on this earth anyway? Yeah. What is the age of our universe as of today? In fact, how old is the world? Let's pick on someone here. Go. Go.
13.8 billion years.
13.8 billion years, okay. Doctor, what do you say to that answer?
Well, it's quite interesting how we stated the questions and then we stated the answer and then the same question. Well, can you
Okay.
explain how we got the 13.8? Just something about it or the ideology.
By mentioning the light, yes, converting H to light, light to who to HRE, all those calculations over there.
Okay, and that's
Okay,
right.
well,
Yeah.
well, doctor,
But
isn't it true? Isn't it true that like the Bible puts the like we are a bit younger than that according to the Bible?
well, there are two. Well, you know,
Sorry, can I answer that before you come?
okay, okay.
Yeah.
In answering that, I will push a question to you. Was there any evidence that the world was destroyed at any point? I'm evident that some things in this world were destroyed at any point in time. That's to you. Then the answer to her question. What happened is in the Bible is um, there are two uh, living entities in the world. The first one was when God created the world. Then God destroyed the world because of Satan's rebellious activities in the heavens. Then in Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 3, he now reactivated it because he destroyed and sealed it. He now reactivated it. The times of dinosaur were those first time. Those were the billions that he mentioned. Dinosaurs and so that's why in some countries, some archaeologists discover, oh, this building that is buried under the ground has been existing for 2 billion years. Or you see skeleton of one big mammoth that is as big as a whole house. Oh, this skeleton has been existing for over 2 billion years. Those were the times before the rebellious activities of Satan. So there are two ways. One was the creation of the earth. Another one was the reactivation of the suspended earth. So in going with the science, it's likely it's up to that contains of things that will be billions of years. But in terms of creation of Adam, when we came, Adam and Eve, well, it's much younger. We were thinking that when Adam was created was when the world was created. No, the world was created much more, billions of years before creation of Adam. That's my own view about it.
So, doctor, so we have religion and we have science here, right? Is that
Yes,
fair enough?
which they merge together actually. From his own explanation, with all what he's been saying since the time, that's what got me interested. I found out that if you put two and two things together and you make the science and
The recording has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
Job's stars were mentioned, and the way it was mentioned was nearly exactly the same way he mentioned it when God was telling him about stars, about Orion. So many names of the stars, galaxies, mentioned it on that Job. You know, so the multiverse and this thing is talking about were even mentioned there. So, like you said, the science part and the religious part actually negligible. Okay, they are now tending to, before there was disparity, you know, all those ones that glass came from a monkey, no, those ones don't. But with time now, when we are now looking at it with analysis, and then from my own little knowledge of the Bible, I find out that they are now tally, they are now in tandem. It's like it's true. So that's my
Wow.
Thank you
So,
very much.
doctor, doctor,
You're
we're gonna
absolutely
put you on. We're gonna put you on the spot, doctor. Which version do you believe in?
well. Well, there are two lines here, but
Okay.
to keep everything more clear, I believe myself personally, I believe in seeing as believing. For example, just last year, I met a lady from just to cite the example, like from what he said. I met a lady from Norway, in somewhere around Shanghai. So we're talking. The lady is from Norway, and the other lady was from Pakistan. So the lady from Norway told me that her country. I asked her how many people are in your country. So she told me that there are less than 3 million people. I said, okay, 3 million people. Then I asked the Pakistani lady, how many people in your country? So she said there are about 200 million people in her country. I said, okay. Then now I asked the both of them, how many people in the world currently? So we all agree that currently we are 7 billion people in the world. I said, okay. Then now I told the lady from Norway that if your country is having 3 million people today, that means that 100 years before, that is last century, probably 1900, for example, it means that Norway should be having 4,000 people. She didn't agree, so she was a little bit upset that she was like, no, my country had more than 4,000 people. So I told a young lady, yeah. So I told a young lady, you don't need to be upset. You go online and get the data. For example, I cited Nigeria for her. Nigeria population today is the same as Pakistan, almost the same as Pakistan, which is 200 million people.
What?
Nigeria is growing by 2.6%, so which means that every 2.6% of 200 million, it means that Nigeria is producing about 5 million, 5 point something million newborn babies every year. So that means that in 1900, like if you take it back, in 1900, Nigerian population was less than 60 million people. So if that's true, so it means that if you take it back very well, in 1900, we shouldn't call Norway a country. No, Norway shouldn't exist at that time, because when you look at the rate of people, the rate of fertility, the rate of immigrant, you consider so many stuff. When you back it, so you find out that Norway was probably a land. It was a transit zone. People just move. People just walk past through the country. So what it means is that if we are 7 billion people today, the data is online. It's everywhere. So you can check. It's free to check. You can check the fertility rate of everyone. It's on Google called Worldometer. So when you check our rates of how people are being born and how people do die, because that's the only two areas we have to consider. How are the rates increasing and how are people dying? So when you check it very well, you'll find out that I wouldn't want to give a definite answer to avoid argument, but you'll find out that nobody was on Earth less than 5,000 years from now. It was empty.
You are
Yeah.
right.
Dinosaurs.
You are
Yeah,
right.
dinosaurs.
So
Yeah.
you are right. So the creation of Adam is actually around 6,000, 7,000 years. You know,
Sorry.
the, yes. So because in fact, I really love the way you do your
Yeah.
analysis now. You understand?
Yeah.
If you look at it back and start going back, all those Jesus came, like we said, about 2,000 years plus.
2,000 years
And,
Jesus came. Yeah.
and between Jesus and Adam, it's not 4,000 years or 5,000 years. Even if you check on Wikipedia, they will tell you this at this time. So the actual word, when God said, "Let's create man in our image," was around 6 to 7,000 years old. Now, from his own analysis of so light years, when you understand, you mentioned that those 30 billion years, anything 7 years, 1,000 years backward to 30 billion years, at the time between when some creations like a dinosaur, they call them locusts. If you watch the rock film, um, what do they call it? That he became
Fish, different creations, others,
different creations.
evolutions, perhaps. Yeah.
Yes. If you have seen what's it called? This film, Star Wars, all those creations were those creatures that were inhabiting this world then. They were the ones that were under the control that God had here then, even though He created them. But they were obeying Satan. And then Satan now looked at God and said, I want to overthrow and place my own throne above your throne. And he waged war. I mean, it's a common story in the Bible against the heaven. And then they push him out, he came back there, and then God destroyed the world against the Bible. You check Isaiah 4, verse 1. When the God says that everything was in ruin, even he revealed some to Jeremiah, he didn't say anything. Everything was in ruin, everything destroyed. Then God sealed it. When God sealed it, put water on it and freeze it, you are frozen. That is why those bodies died. You know, some of them became a disembodied spirit without body. He only resuscitated them in verse 2, about 7,000 years ago. When he said, he didn't say let me create light. He said let there be light. The word let means you are giving an authority for something that has been there to come around.
Sorry, I don't completely understand. I missed something here.
Okay.
Can somebody explain to me where we're going to right now?
No. I'm just, don't worry, it's okay. It's not that I want to go big. I'm just showing the similarity between science
Speaking
and
of
Okay.
creation.
so that's
Okay. Another thing I want to say, I think we have passed the event time. Sorry for that. We passed the event time. And I hereby officially want to close it because it's 1 hour overtime. But I would say, please stay with us. If you have more questions, it can be answered now. And if the speaker has more that he wants to bring up, this is the right time for networking and get all your other questions answered. Okay? Thank you.
okay. Can
Yes,
we have
we come to the end of the
continue.
program. So general questions
Yeah,
now.
this
Yeah.
is the end of the program. Mhm.
Okay, can we have the presentation slides, please? The PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you can just take it on this charts platform there.
Okay. So general questions, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah,
Okay.
please. I just want the speaker to shed more light on the black hole. How do they come to be? How are they formed? Black hole.
Okay.
I'm interested.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So I will just talk for like 2 minutes. So I'll make it very short. So, well, the black hole.
Please, because it's getting there's some noise coming from you. Tunde?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So the black hole itself, the black hole.
Noises.
Sorry, I hear somebody's microphone is really disturbing. Can all the microphones be
Okay, it's cool now.
okay, thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Okay. So the black hole, from the speaker, Mr. Michael, the black hole is a star. It's a sun, because most people call the star sun, okay, but because all stars are sun, S-U-N. So the sun is made up of helium gas, He+. That's why it's burning, like it's hot, So whenever the sun, the fuel, like the helium gas gets finished or about to finish, then that helium gas, that sun is going to die. Then when the sun dies, now remember, we look at we look at space as empty, but in fact, space is not empty, Because the reason why I talk to you right now, you can hear me, is because my voice has vibrated the space, which is later translated to da, 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 da. But in fact, if you are close to me right now and I talk, my voice is not just going to you, my voice has distorted the space. That's why you can hear me. So, which means that space can be viewed as a quantity like this, for example. I don't know if you can see this paper. Okay. Okay. So, whenever the sun finishes the gas, the sun is going to die. And how does it die? The sun already by default, the sun has been able to trap space, right? Because right now I'm alive. So which means I am disturbing space as a human being. Because wherever I stay, anywhere I enter, and you disturb that space. That's why you are able to exist. So it's the same thing with the sun. So whenever the sun dies, it collapses inside itself. Just imagine this is the sun, it's burning the fuel, the fire, the helium. So whenever the helium gets finished, because it gives energy, so whenever it gets finished, the sun is going to fall inside the space. So it's going to form this kind of shape. So when it forms, it means it has damaged that space around it. So whenever the sun dies, it gives birth to black hole. So now there are a lot of sun dying. There are a lot of stars. I use the word star. There are a lot of stars dying every second in space. So whenever any star dies, when it dies, it takes a rotation motion. Some stars, when they die, they form the black hole. They start moving clockwise. Stars, when they die, they start moving anti-clockwise. It all depends on the properties of the stars. So all stars, when they die, they give birth to a new black hole. Now we have two types of black hole. We have the SMBH and the normal black hole. The SMBH is a supermassive black hole. Now, supermassive black hole is formed because now two black holes, for example, two black holes die and they have a clockwise motion, right? The same motion. So when they come together, they are going to merge themselves to become a single big black hole. So currently now, we have a supermassive black hole that is very, very huge. That black hole consists of millions of black holes that have come together to form unity in space. And the dangerous part of it is anything that falls inside the black hole, that's this part here, it dies. According to physics, it says the second law or third law of thermodynamics says that whenever you destroy a matter, the law of thermodynamics states that matter can neither be destroyed nor created, but it can change form to another. The laws of thermodynamics says, in simple terms, that you cannot destroy this cup. If you destroy this cup, for example, you are not destroying it, you are just changing the form to a ball. And if you think you're more wise, you can probably use it more than a ball. You can even burn it. So if you burn this this cup, it's going to turn into flames, right? Like some kind of ash. So you can see. So you are not destroying this ball. You are just changing the form to different forms. But that's the general law of thermodynamics, which we human beings use. But the black hole says that this law is false. The black hole says that if you should throw this cup of the predictions that is going to destroy. I don't know if I answered the question right, Mr. Michael. That's for the black hole.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Okay.
You were talking about wormhole earlier on,
Yeah.
and I didn't
Okay.
get, you said something about negative energy creating the
Okay.
wormhole. So I'm wondering what
Yeah.
causes, what creates or causes the negative energy.
Okay. You can think of it this way. For example, from the initial time of the Big Bang, that's when everything began. Of course, we don't know what happened then, but we just call it singularity because our mind is just finite. So we call it singularity. The radius was 0 at this point in space. So something happened that gave explosion to everything moving apart. Cool. Now, when everything at that point, before the explosion, everything was in one place. All the energies, all the all the dark, there's something called dark matter, DARK, dark matter was embedded on one place. So now when the explosion happened, you can imagine it. When the explosion happened, so everything started moving. So now everything is moving in space, everything is accelerating in space. So that time was when we had, because now from the beginning, remember everything was there. So we now started having different kind of energy. Now there are some energies in space that can bring thunderstorm, right? Thunder is as a result of some kind of, some kind of flux of energy hitting a different type of energy that can cause that sound in space. So at the time of explosion, different energies were released. Now your question was, how was negative energy born? Something like that. So negative energy was born the exact time the universe exploded. So 50% was positive energy, 50% was negative energy. So how do we know it was 50-50? Why not 40-60 or 70-30? We knew because whenever positive and negative comes together, they cancel out to be 0. So that's just the general law. So negative energy is there, and we have positive energy. We humans, our body, our warmth is positive energy. That's why when I talk to you or when I do some kind of stuff, it's positive. Now, sometimes you wake up from your room and sometimes you touch, I don't know, maybe you can, I don't know if you have this feeling, you touch somewhere, maybe in like some iron, and you feel some shock, like some kind of shock there. So some of those
Yeah.
spark are examples of different kind of energy. So negative energy was born the same time the Big Bang occurred. Are examples of different kind of energy.
All
And
right,
you
thank
can't
you.
observe them. You can just feel them. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I have another question.
Okay, sure.
What has the Bermuda Triangle got to do with, where does it lead to? Because it sucks everything that gets within or around it. Bermuda Triangle in the Bahama
Yeah.
area.
Okay. Well, that Bermuda Triangle, I think it has to do with archaeologists because they are the ones who study, within the earth. Well, anyhow, from the general view, now the earth. Don't forget the earth is moving around the sun. So which means that there are two ways to leave the earth. You can leave the earth through the ground or through space. Two ways. So if you choose to go through space, of course you take flight and fly out, stuff like that. But now if you choose to leave the earth through digging the ground, now let's assimilate the process. For Bermuda Triangle is not something very okay, sorry. It's not something very sacred. Bermuda Triangle is just in the sea. So if you check it out very well, we scientists have not done yet. Bermuda Triangle is just an exit point to other planet out of the earth through the sea. Some experiment was done, an archaeologist experiment, that when you keep digging the earth down, 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 it becomes hot, 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 hot. Now the reason is because when you are digging, you are moving towards, it's not truly right. When you are digging, remember we're moving around the sun, so it is possible when you were digging at that time the earth was facing the sun, right? Because we're moving around the sun. At that time, that part of the earth was facing the sun, so it will be hot. But if you keep digging, there will be the temperature changes with motion. So you can keep digging, and when you get to a particular point below the ocean level, you will fall out of the earth, and of course, you'll be trapped by those comets. You will become part of the motion of the sun. So that Bermuda Triangle you're talking about is not something strange. It is just an exit point out of the earth, a direct exit point out of the earth. Some news have come out over the past years that Bermuda Triangle swallowed some aircraft, stuff like that. Yes, it is true. It is just an exit point. It's not something diabolical. It's just something we call, it's just an occurrence. That point, you can imagine it. It's an ocean, right? And it's an ocean. So which means it has the direct exit out of the earth. So which means that ocean or that Bermuda Triangle place is operating with the direct gravity. Just imagine it, an ocean, we are moving around the earth, we are moving around the sun, sorry. So which means including the oceans. So which means that at the end of that ocean or the Bermuda Triangle, if you go to the end down, you can now start seeing the sun far away. So the gravity from the sun is directly affecting the ocean. So that's why it looks like if your aircraft should pass there, it will attract you. It's just a natural phenomenon, just like Sichuan and Nepal that have earthquake. Just natural phenomenon. You can predict it.
Doctor, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Somebody asked earlier, does
Yeah.
everything on Earth move? Can you elaborate to the public?
Okay, cool. Well, that well, you know, that question is kind of it's kind of, let me take it from the simplified part to the depth. For example, um, um, because every human being has organs. So let's assume the worm or your liver or wherever on your stomach, So if I should enter a flight, for example, or I should start running, so the question now I'm asking my organs is, can you feel like movement? So my organs will tell you, no, I can't feel anything because I'm the one doing the race. So my organs, now I'm not talking of my skin, I'm talking of my organs. My organs will be relaxed because they don't know what's going on. Only my lungs can feel because my lungs is taking the air off my, but my liver, all those guys are just relaxed. So you can think of it that way. So the answer to that question is, since we are moving around the sun, somebody must carry the burden. So right now, it is the sea carrying the burdens. So we are moving around the sun. So we are covered with water. Don't forget, we are sitting on water right now, right? So deep down us, we have lands and sea. It's like it's like a tripod experiment. We are not going to feel it because somebody has carried that burden for us. So we are just going to experience under the earth. That's the ocean. That's why the ocean keep moving, because it is the one carrying, dissolving the gravity for us. While we on earth, our house, our buildings, our car, we are just riding on top the sand, which is our car is on top of the sand, our body is on top of the sand, and the sand is resting on the ocean. So the ocean feels the gravity and the force, why we do not need to feel. Yeah.
And then my last question for you. for tonight is
Yeah.
this. If science is applications of mathematics, obviously, and in mathematics we have four transformations. We have
Okay.
we have reflection, we have translation, we have dilation, and then here we have rotation, which takes precedence in all of this. So rotation happens to be what? The fourth dimension you said, or was it the fifth dimension?
Okay.
What did you
Your
say?
question is
So
about the
why do we ignore the other transformation? For example, when a star is moving, isn't that translation? Why isn't that movement considered as one of the dimensions? Why do we focus so much on rotation only and ignore translation? Well, what about even reflection?
okay. Okay. Now, let me
Also
catch your
go
main
ahead, sir.
point. Yeah. So your main point is why do we focus on? Are we
Rotation
talking of the
only.
dimension?
Yeah,
Yeah.
rotation only and ignore the other three important
Mm,
parts of mathematics that also can be applications of what we are
mm.
referring to here. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah. I catch the point now. So the point is whether it is translational or circular or centrifugal or other stuff. So all those are just part of the third dimension. The third dimension is the ability for you to bend your neck up and down, like it's for you to do anything you want to do, whether you're jumping, but whatever kind of rotation, that is just within the third dimension. So
Okay.
so it doesn't really cover circular. It also include translation and other stuff.
It includes it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the fourth dimension is time. Yeah, which
Yeah.
we are using because if I don't tell you my time, you can't know where I am. So you need time to locate me. Something like that.
So
That's fourth dimension.
it's basically length, width, height,
Mm,
and time.
and time. Cool. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question too. This
Okay.
how you call it? These wormholes? Am I right?
Mm, yeah.
I want to
Yes.
more. I want to know more about it. How far are they with research? Is it being used already?
Well, currently, an example of wormhole is subway system, which, in fact, the subway system, I mean, underground subway system, came from the idea of wormhole. So that's what
Mm.
China has built right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So currently, it's in use, but different countries, especially this is it Ida Ilu, this one belt, one road.
Yeah.
So the Chinese, yeah. So the Chinese national research, they are trying to do something, and the American in such a way that you can travel from China to Dubai through wormhole, that is underground tunnel. They are trying to create an artificial wormhole, although they might not be able to create like to make use of the negative energies because negative energy is what keeps it open, but they can try. So right now, the wormhole is just is just a it's more
A
like a
theory.
fiction right
A
now.
theory.
A
An
theory, a
experiment,
theory.
Fiction.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, more like a theory right now because
or
nobody
it's
has
not in
really
use
entered
yet, or
inside.
we don't know. Maybe it is already uh, that they're already researching it, but it's not known to the public. That's possible, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah, sure.
Too much
Okay.
water underground. Too much water.
Too much
Okay,
water.
no, I was just interested in it because, okay, there was many times you see these videos circulating around where you can see that suddenly from a video, a person is disappearing,
Yes,
and
yes,
it's
yes.
real.
Yeah,
Many of them are
it's,
real. Is
yeah, of
Does
course.
this have to do with these wormholes?
Okay, maybe very well. Okay, let me go to that place you are trying to drive me into. That there's
Yeah.
one area.
Sorry for
Okay,
that. Mhm.
okay, yeah, sure. For example, those people who perform magic. I mean the real magic, not the fake magic.
So is there real
So
magic? But that's another question. Go ahead.
yeah, there's a real magic people do, like they disappear from one side to the other side.
Mhm.
Real. So those guys, they make use of this mechanics doing a time travel through a virtual wormhole which they create.
So it exists.
So
That's what you're saying to me. It exists then.
yes,
It's
they exist
already
because
being used,
they are
especially in
using,
Africa. In South America, I know there are some cultures who are doing
yeah,
it.
yes, they exist, but we should note that they are using the fifth dimension,
The
which is
fifth
they have
dimension,
the
help me,
ability.
please.
Yeah, the
Fifth
fourth dimension
dimension.
is time. Yeah, the fourth dimension is time, forward time. Like we are on the fourth dimension because every day we sleep and wake up, our age is going older. So we are in the
Okay.
fourth dimension. So the
Mm-hmm.
fifth dimension are people who can go back in time. That's the fifth dimension. So, for example, you can attend a show, a real black magic show, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the
Black
magician,
magic. Okay.
yeah, black magic show, for example, black phone, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden, you will not see this phone in his hand or he disappears. So, what that means
Okay.
is he didn't disappear, he's still there. But our eyes are so, our eyes are so, I know the right word to use, but our eyes cannot pick what he's doing. So it looks like he disappeared the phone from his hand,
Mm-hmm.
but in fact, he did not disappear
Okay.
the phone. The phone is still there because he has the ability to go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was, you can imagine it. What he did was the phone was here, which everybody is seeing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
see my screen. Okay. So what he did was he knows that we are moving. Okay, he knows that the time is going like 5, 6, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, like that. So what he's gonna do is
Yeah.
he's going to just go a little bit back in time, just a little bit back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we are still observing this phone. Okay, we are still looking at this phone.
Yeah.
So he will go a little bit back in time when this phone was
Uh-huh.
not there, just a little bit back. Now him
Wow.
alone, not us, but him alone, he has gone back. He has gone to 4 hours back. Remember, we are still looking at this phone. So when he gets to 4 hours back,
Uh-huh.
he will take the phone. Okay, he will just take the phone.
Mm-hmm.
While we are still looking at
Oh
it.
my
So
God.
in fact, the phone is still
Yeah.
on probably his second hand, but we don't know what happened. We'll be like, wow, we'll start clapping. But the phone is still there on the other hand. So that's
Oh
the
God.
fifth dimension. Yeah. So the fifth dimension, people can, I don't know how they do it, but they are able to manipulate time, back time. They can alter some things. I think some of the pastors do it. Some of the pastors you watch on YouTube, they're able to go back in time and tell you what you did 4 years ago, how you did it, what you ate, and some stuff like that. If it's true or false, I don't know, but I know that it is possible to go back in time to see if possible, to see how your parents met even before you were born. It's possible to go back in time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've experienced it
Mm,
many times that people say that they go, for example, to fortune tellers or
yeah.
whatever, and that these people are accurate. These people for sure don't know them from anywhere, but still they're accurate with what they are saying
Yes.
about what happened in their past. And after they've gone to their past, just to make them understand that they know what their past is like, then they start going to their future
Mm,
and can predict what will happen.
yes. They are
So
they are
that's
physicists.
why I'm
Yeah.
wondering if all these things are there already,
That's right.
what do we do with it? What has been done with such, well, you call it magic, but it's magic, but is it being used as well in science, in other daily life situations? For example, maybe to stop a catastrophe, or somebody who is going to hurt or break something, or make a catastrophe, to be able to slow down time or go back in time, to change the outcome.
Yeah,
I know it's a
Well,
mouthful I'm asking.
yeah,
yeah.
sure. Yeah, sure. I understand it, but first of all, we are all aware that the supposed creator of the universe, which some people call God, the guy who created
Yeah.
everything, has given us time that we must start our that we are bounded by zero. I call it from 0 to 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
So which means good or bad, evil, tall or short, you must die 200 years or less.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some people who have this ability to use this, go back in time and stuff. But those people, they are trapped in the God's plan, which is 200 years. You must go. So whoever
Mm-hmm.
wield those powers, they will never use it for something positive because they are already trapped in time. So they probably use it for their own selfish interest or to hurt people. That's just it. Because they cannot use it outside of their domain. They are trapped in time.
And
Yeah.
Wow.
and also we have two questions here. Anthony Balinga had
Okay.
asked two questions that we have not addressed. His
Okay.
first question was, how does science explain the woman appearing out of the rib of a man? And his second question was, in inner space, the speed of thought is slowed down at the point where the mind transcend and transcended and the space time continuum disappears. At this point, the mind starts to travel at the speed of light. Beyond this point, worm or wormholes may easily be created. They become visible. Is it real? As soon as thoughts suspend, all awareness of time and space suspend with them. The mind then travels to whatever point it is focused on. So he's asking, is this really real, Doctor?
Okay. From his first question, maybe I take it one by one.
This
The
meeting is being
first
recorded.
question was, how does explain the woman, presume? How does science
Yeah.
explain woman coming out of the rib of a man? That's his first question.
Yes.
So so first of all, science do not believe that woman came out of the rib of a man. That's biblical. That's probably religious. But what science believe mostly is what science believe mostly is science believe in facts, not just some kind of theories that just bump out from somewhere. So to explain this part, uh, from the evolution theory, which is true, which is science, uh, the human being existed less than 5,000 years ago. So our real ancestral trait was from fish. So we are from fish. So because fish has one of the oldest DNAs, and from the old experiment and the recent experiment, we human beings we share DNA with fish. So we must have came from fish is our closest ancestors.
See that?
So we
So when I say I'm a
yeah
fish woman, it's true.
yeah. So we must have come out from fish. Maybe the fish came out from the ocean to the land and some kind of I don't know some kind of evolution
Oh
that
my
gave birth
God.
to monkeys and stuff like that. Yeah. But by fact, because a DNA experiment was carried out, it is possible the fish gave birth to the man, like evolved to be a man, then man evolved to be woman, the woman brought out man, probably, but we are closer to fish than the other theories that came out. And the second
So what
question
about
was, yeah,
his second question?
Dr. Balinga, can I ask a question to Dr. Balinga direct? Because I remember he was saying something in one of his previous,
Okay.
how you call it? It was him or somebody else, I forgot. But I think he was in it as well. That some people or special healers, they can see plants, right? Or herbs that are good for healing. So my question is now, does this has to do with these wormholes?
Oh, sorry. Some people can see some herbs or something.
Yeah, they can see certain herbs, healers,
Healers.
people, traditional healers or
Okay.
traditional, what you call it, medicine
Okay,
healers.
Dr. Roots. I think Dr. Roots mentioned it too.
Or Dr. Ruth, yeah, but I remember him saying something about it as well.
Some
So
people,
I want
some
to
people
know,
have the
does it
power
have
to
to do with
see,
this?
to identify roots, herbs.
That not
Oh,
everybody can see it.
Oh, sure. Well, it depends because different people exist. Well, from my own, I don't need to have a personal view. From what we can see, of course, some people have the ability to see some people have the ability to use the fifth dimension. Some use the sixth dimension. So
sixth
it's true.
dimension, explain that one to me. You said fifth, I understand. Fourth, I understand.
Okay.
That's me, right? So what is sixth now?
Okay, the fifth dimension, you can go back in time. That's five. You can just go back in time. Then the sixth dimension is you can go back in time and create your timeline. Back and create your timeline. So that means that you can go back in time.
I don't understand that. What do you mean by create your own timeline?
Yeah, remember,
Sorry,
like when you go, okay, when you go back in time, that's the fifth dimension. You can alter things. You can alter some certain things. That's to say, you can change change the phone or stuff like that. That's the fifth dimension. But the sixth dimension, you can go there and create your timeline. That's to say that you can make your mom and dad never to meet before you were born.
Huh?
Then
wow.
Yeah.
Something else.
Yeah. Then you can be able to, create your timeline. That's to say, but you won't come back after that creating a new timeline. So you just exist there. So which means you've separated your mom and dad. So which means your mom probably met someone else who will give birth to someone else. Then it's a new timeline entirely, like a new loophole,
But that means you don't exist then.
Then you don't exist. So you just live in that timeline.
And you never answer Anthony Balinga's second question.
Okay. In inner space, right? That question?
Yeah.
Okay. He said in inner space, in inner space, the speed of thought is slowed down to a point where the mind transcends it, and the space and time continuum disappears. At this point, the mind starts to travel at the speed of light. Beyond this point, wormholes may be easily created. The question is kind of long, but he said the speed of light, the speed of thought, okay, is slowed down to a point where the mind transcends it, okay? And the space continuum disappears. At this point, the mind starts to travel at the speed of light. Beyond this point, wormhole may be easily created. They become visible. Yeah. His second question is he's trying to talk about, from my understanding, he's trying to talk about that the mind can travel at the speed of light, which is true, of course. So, because I can think about when I was 8 years old, that I've traveled back in time. Okay, wormholes may be easily created. Yeah. Well, he talked about the mind traveling back, like traveling back in time, or through the speed of light, which is true. But the point he said that wormholes may be created. So I think that it's kind of contradicting because wormholes is connecting to this. Wormhole is it's a different quantity that connect two huge distance together. So if your mind travels back or forward, it has nothing to do with wormhole, because wormhole is just a method of time travel on its own. Yeah, so that's my second question.
Okay.
Please, what's the third question?
Yeah, I also asked a question about multiverse concepts.
Multiverse.
Yes.
Okay.
What is it all about?
Okay, like the name implies, multi. So which means vast. Like our Big Bang itself, our universe. We are just living in one single universe. That's we right now. And of course, after 200 years' time, we'll be no more. So right now, we are living on our universe, which is this one. Our universe has the galaxy. It has millions of galaxies, our own, millions of stars, right? Everything are millions, billions and millions. That is our galaxy. We call it our galaxy. That's a singular. Now, before the time of creation of our galaxy, they were existing millions of galaxies. So our galaxy, that our universe that exploded,
very nice,
was just one explosion. So there were billions of explosions that was going out, that was happening different time. Well, to round it up, maybe that's what God, or that's what the Bible said, that I don't know the exact verse, but he said something that he's the beginning and the ending, but yet he has no beginning, something like that. So which means that at the time of creation, because this is we at the singularity point, so before we exploded out, we must be living on somewhere, because we cannot just pop out of somewhere. So before our universe exploded, we must be somewhere. So now the question is, what was happening in that somewhere? So that somewhere existed different universes. So those are the multiverses. So Mr. Mike might be living in Shanghai.
Brings me again
on this
to another
universe.
question. That brings
Okay.
me again to another question.
Ah,
Those prophets that have been writing the Bible, can it be
yes.
that they have been on the fifth or sixth timeline? Now I'm starting to really wonder, because their way of understanding, of explaining the things they were seeing, because they say, if you look at the Bible, there's a lot of prophecies in the Bible, right? So if you think about it, all these prophecies, they must have gone back in time or beyond time to know
Beyond
this.
time.
But they didn't understand it, what they were seeing, because if you have never lived in that time, for example, a mobile phone, they wouldn't know it's called maybe mobile phone, but they could see all these things, right? And they were saying all the things in the Bible because it's already written there, right? So would you say that these prophets, even the one maybe that they call Jesus, that these were actually people who already been able to go in the fifth, sixth, and who knows, even a seventh?
Well, yeah, well, I would say that because I think it's very clear, because I watch some people online, even offline. I go to that program sometimes, and there was a particular guy, which I won't mention his name, but everyone knows him in Africa. Now, I went for his program, and he was able to tell some certain people some certain things that happened more than a decade back, and it was true, not fake. And the same guy was able to tell the person that this was going to happen tomorrow, this is going to happen next tomorrow. So I think it's very clear people have the ability to use the fifth dimension, but I'm not so sure about the sixth dimension. But people have the ability to use the fifth dimension, which is to go back and tell you some certain things, and of course the future too.
Okay. Dr.
Yeah.
Sam Stevenson here is saying, isn't it the mind a quantum engine and the thoughts it generates, therefore, able to travel faster than light through quantum entanglement? And he goes on, he says, let me see if I can scroll down. If all matter and energy come from one point source, as the Bang Theory suggests, doesn't this mean that all things uh, in the universe could be quantum entangled at some level?
Okay. Okay. Well, this area I spoke now. I think to carry us to string theory. I don't know if you heard about string theory, because string theory is part of quantum mechanics too. So string theory says that, how do I say that? It said everything on earth, including you and I, we are not real. And it's truth. We are not real. When you look at it from the string theory, it means that, how do I say it now? It means that if you should break down my system into a bit of sand, like you break it down to the lowest form, that's it, is dead now, for example. So you find out that there will be some remains. Now, if you should break that remain, you burn them and try to destroy this human being. There will be the last point of a human being, the last point of a matter is vibrations, is string. So that's to say that when I look at you or you look at me, in fact, you are not seeing me. You are seeing vibrations. So the reason why you are able to see me is because I am made up of different kind of vibrations at this place right now. So from what he's saying is it has to do with string theory. So string theory says that since we are vibrations, it's pretty clear. That that's the reason why I can Skype or I can Zoom with you when in fact I'm not there, but you can see me there.
Hmm. And Mr.
Yeah.
Michael wanted to know, where is God?
Well, Mr. Michael is straightforward. God is above the sixth dimension, so he lives there. The sixth dimension do not use time. Their time is still, it's on zero. So they don't operate with time. They are everywhere at the same time. That's their properties.
Sixth heaven.
I'm not so definite about the sixth, but above the sixth dimension, it could be the 10th dimension, because every dimension has their complexities. But from the sixth dimension, their time are still, like they don't use time, so they can have a particular form, and that's it. Time do not work for them.
Oh yes, by the way, I want to say, everybody, we're actually, the event has finished. So if you have a
Okay.
question, you can just unmute your mic and ask the question directly. We are now in the networking mode and asking question mode. So don't be shy. Just open your mic and ask the question. Okay.
Mr. Anthony Balinga, what you wrote here on the chat, is this a statement or is this a question? When you started with wormholes might allow effective superluminal faster than light, is this a statement, Anthony?
It's a statement. Here, just making mention of something.
Oh, okay. So there is something faster than the speed of light, doctor.
Okay. Yeah. Let me read
Yes,
the question.
definitely.
What host might allow? Yeah, of course. Like everything you think of is very clear. Everything you think of is right. But the only reason we just set the light as the fastest thing is to hide our ignorance, because we must hide our ignorance somewhere. So right now we just say light is the fastest, but in fact there might be some other physical quantities that are faster than the speed of light. But currently we just set light as our reference. Yeah. to keep the subject going, stuff like that.
How were these physicists able to calculate the speed of light when they didn't have equipment back then?
Okay, well, that's a deep question. Okay, now, well, the speed of light, first of all, there's a law that says, like, it's kind of like a my speed. It's kind of like a thou shalt not travel with me and alter my speed. So what it means is that if you should hold light, maybe a torch, for example, and you are traveling, and you're in your vehicle, you are traveling very fast, and you on your touch to someone else at the other end, now your speed does not affect the speed of light. I don't know if you get that. Your speed.
It's a constant number anyway.
Yeah, cool. So whether you are on speed or not, it has no relationship with the speed of light. So the speed of light will always travel at that speed, which is 10 times 10, 3 times 10 is about 8. So how we got the value of the speed of light was pretty straightforward, because light is a photon, right? There are photons traveling. So all you need to do is just buy a prism in your house, a prism light, and on a candle, okay? When you on a candle on one side, you can look at the prism, okay? When you look at the prism, you can tell, oh, the distance between, when you look at it, when you use a prism, look at the light, you can see some properties. Oh, blue is 5%, red is 10%, different colors with a percentage. Then increase the distance of the light and look at it again. Then you will find out maybe red has reduced to some certain percentage, blue has increased, some stuff like that. So when you do it about 5 to 10 times, and you can calculate the speed of light yourself, and you must come out with 3 times 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Your calculation. With C5 variables, just increase by a prism, increase the distance, check it, write what you see, increase the distance, check it, write what you see. When you do it 5 times, then now you can analyze it. Wow, it means the speed must be this.
Ms. Ria, do you see any more questions on the chat that we have not covered?
Yeah, I think there's some questions. Someone said the 6th dimension may be attained. Yes, of course. There are people who are already operating on the 6th dimension already. It's possible.
Or 7th? Is there a 7th dimension? Who knows?
Yeah, there are 7. I have a list. I can share it. The 7th dimension are people who can go back in time, create their timeline, and create their timeline and drop. They can create a loop from this. They go back in time, that's 5. They can create a new timeline, that's 6. Now the 7th dimension, guys, they can drop down to any of the dimensions. That's for the 7th.
Jesus Christ. And the 8th, is there an 8th as well, or a 9th?
Yeah. We have a list for that, up to 50 dimensions. There are a lot.
I would love to have the list. And this really exists. Scientists have found out about these people.
Yes, by observations. They exist.
Oh my God. So they really exist. They're there.
Yeah. Huh. But right now, our judiciary system, our courts, right? Because we use the courts. I mean the lawyers. So the judiciary system operates on the 4th dimension. So if you tell a judge that someone died because of something, the judge will not attend to you because you've used the 5th dimension. So the judge is restricted by 4th dimension. Provided you didn't have a physical appearance with the person before he died, nothing will be done. You are innocent. Even though the judge knows that that you must have used some kind of, you know, spiritual
You're
means to
kidding
kill
me.
the man. Also.
So basically,
Yeah,
what you're saying, okay, we as Emilia said it so nicely, we call it juju, right? What they're doing.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Good Lord. Oh, come on, Emilia. Let's be serious. We call it juju. But basically, what you're saying, Africans are
They,
advanced because they're
yeah,
good
they are
at juju.
physicists actually. They don't know they are very
Huh?
smart. They are physicists. Yeah,
I'm telling you. The same for people from Haiti. That means they're advanced. But
very
my
advanced.
question then is how can they use this uh, ability
Mm,
positively? Are there African scientists who are focusing on using this kind of energy, I call it energy,
mm,
positively to our advancement? Because this is not a small thing. What I'm, if I listen to this, it's
mm,
power.
mm.
It's enough to bring change.
Yeah,
And
like from what
You
I
know,
saw on in
yeah,
UK,
go
they
ahead.
have a college of witches in UK.
a
What?
college
They
of
have college of
witches.
witches.
College of
Yeah,
Witches?
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
You
No,
got
It's a
to be
faculty
kidding me.
actually. It's a faculty.
of
Yeah.
witches.
So I think
Of which?
of witches. Yeah. I will keep
Hey,
the link. At
I'm
least.
teling you.
Yeah, it's a
Do we have one
faculty.
in Africa? I will attend. I swear to
And
God, I will attend.
who's the president of that campus? The devil?
Sorry, Emilia.
Actually, if I may
Okay.
interject,
Hey,
actually
no,
the
no, no,
term
but no, no,
the
no.
term
On a serious note,
is
is there something like that in Africa, such a faculty? No, let's take it serious. Let's. I wouldn't mind starting such a school, even a school of witches, of juju people. Call it that.
Yeah.
No, we're
You know,
um
laughing. No, no, no. We're laughing
such
about it.
schools
you know the
But
thing.
I
such
see a
schools
lot
do
of
exist.
potential and power in it if it's channeled well. I'm not joking.
The thing that
Mm,
fascinates me the most is the dream, the power of dreams. I
mm,
knew that I was a scientist at 8 years old because I didn't believe anything my parents told me about my village. I was known as the most uh, rebel kid in that village because when they would
mm.
tell me things like, well, if you go in that forest, somebody is going to use their magic power to do whatever. So
So
I
it
was
means
that
you may be
kid.
a seventh dimension person, Emilia.
Yeah. So I, I was that person though. I was that kid that said no. I didn't know what words I used, but in today's world, it will translate into if you cannot prove it to me, I will not believe it. But let me tell
Mm,
you, doctor, let me tell you, doctor, what has happened in my real life. It's like I have the power to dream something, see it in my dream, and it comes true. And so I started questioning myself. Hey, wait a minute. Everybody calls me a rebel because I don't believe in things unless I can see proof to it. In my life, 5 people have passed away in my family, and I saw it the night before. When my mother passed away, I was in Houston, Texas. I saw her coffin in my dream, and I woke up at 4 in the morning, and I told everyone, "Mother has passed away." They looked at
Oh
me.
my
They're like,
God.
"You?" They said, "You again with your dreams?" I said, "I saw her in my dream. She passed away." When
Oh my God.
my sister's 2 children passed away, I saw it in the dream. So nowadays, my family tells me, when you dream about me, don't tell me because I don't
Yeah,
want to know.
please, I beg. I don't want to know either.
So, doctor, I have no idea. Do dreams have anything to do with any dimension?
Yes, I told you already. You're from the seventh dimension. Didn't hear me. You can start your own juju school.
yeah, dreams
Sorry. I
dreams
was
Yeah.
do
right. I was
dreams
pulling your leg.
do connect us to certain dimensions. Um, but it also depends on what frequencies you're at, if I can use these kind of terms,
Yeah.
because all of these things we're talking about are actually very easy to practice once they're explained, once the steps are explained. It's pure science. I don't believe in magic. There is no magic.
Yeah.
Magic is just what has not been scientifically explained or not been scientifically understood. So we call it magic. But once it's explained, everybody is doing it everywhere. It's just like, oh, it's nothing, just like mobile phones. We are built exactly the same way these mobile phones are built, which means that every single one of us has access to every single other person right now, all the we just are usually not aware of it. Why? Because it's like you have a mobile phone and the mobile phone is busy playing a recording loudly all the time. Then any call which comes through will not be heard because the loud noise from the recordings, the multiple recordings in that mobile phone will drown out the calls which are coming in. This is how every single human being is. So you don't know what you're calling your thoughts. Most of them do not belong to you. They're just visiting your head. You don't even know where they're coming from. And then you entertain them and you think they're yours. In fact, they're coming from other people and they're just hopping from one person to the other. So you can be easily contaminated by thought and you would never know. They can subtract and they can insert. Very easy to do. And I can explain this. The thing is, if you know how to slow down these thoughts and then stop them and just sit there and listen, you will go crazy with laughter because you can hear all the stuff that's going through the heads of every single person you want to focus on. You just have the idea of this person, all their thoughts run through. You have the idea of this person, all their emotions run through. Now, the problem is you're going to get a whole bunch of negatives coming through because you will discover that the majority of human beings spend most of their time thinking and feeling negatives much more than positives. And then you will not like to experience that. You're going to shut it down if you can. So that's the whole trick. Now, once you have reached this point that you are able to shut down your thoughts and you can listen to other people's thoughts, the next thing you want to do is exchange their thoughts for fresh ones. So you can introduce in somebody's head, for example, you're going to die on Tuesday at 2 o'clock on this street. They even don't know the difference between what you inserted and what they already have in there. And so, because they're controlled by all of these thoughts running in from their subconscious mind, at that precise time, on that precise street, they are going to walk into that place and it's going to become a reality. They're going to die there. So this is very dangerous for to master for anyone who doesn't have a sense of morality. But this is pure physics. This is pure mathematics. This is pure science. So a layperson can say it like this, but a scientist can give you the whys and wherefores of all of this very, very clearly. You know, because everything is about energy. Everything is about a spectrum. And if you understand how the spectra work and how energy frequencies can be moved from higher to lower, you can do anything. So, for example, each of us sitting here, we think we have a body, we think we have a physical body. And then, like in religious terms, we say we have a spiritual body. This is for religion. What would a scientist see? A scientist just sees phases of matter from, the solid to the liquid to the gas to plasma and beyond. So if you want to obtain plasma, which is the flame we have on the gas cooker in the kitchen, this is plasma. The blue flame or the red flame you have there, this is plasma. That's all about it. But it's not a solid body. All you need to do at every level is apply a little bit of heat. The more heat you apply, then the matter changes its form. Like professor said, if I may call you that, matter cannot be destroyed. You will change the form, but you will not destroy it. You apply a little bit of heat, it changes from a solid to a liquid. You apply more heat, it changes from a liquid to a gas, steam, and all of that. You apply more heat and it vanishes. You think it's not there, but it's become a plasma. Sometimes the plasma is visible, sometimes it's just tangible. Our human bodies are the same. There are specific conditions you can create whereby your physical body is changed into a liquid, or at least a large portion of it is transformed into a liquid. and then you apply certain principles, that liquid transforms itself into a gas. You're still very conscious of all of this. And then you apply the same principle, and that gas transforms itself into plasma. Your consciousness is still existing inside this plasma form. Now you just exit the remaining part of the physical body with the plasma body you now have, which also has legs and arms, a head, eyes, everything, the same senses, and you step out of your body through a wall and into other things. This is totally possible. Totally possible. But most people don't know how this is done.
So
Yeah.
you are talking about, you actually covered the topic of mind control. Did I hear that correctly? Where like the CIA will be controlling the mind of a criminal?
What?
Yes, this is also possible. This is possible, and I think it's time our people become aware,
Through
because most Africans need
hypnosis?
well, well, you could call it hypnosis. If it's face to face, it's hypnosis, but we don't even need to be face to face. All you need to do is to move into a certain frequency range. It's like a radio broadcast, just like a mobile phone. You can do this because you're a mobile phone, you're a radio broadcaster already, but you're not conscious of it. Once you move into the conscious aspect of it, you can choose where you broadcast, how you broadcast, and like I said, you can insert messages, programs into any mind you want. It is very real, very true, and it is provable. I can prove it. It's just like I don't want this to be in the hands of just about anyone because it's dangerous. If you do not have a sense of morality, the next person who will get you angry, you're going to apply these things on them, which is what some people do. But it's not because you can that you should do. There are consequences to these.
You can train people to do this?
Yes, yes.
I mean,
I've been
not
training
you.
people for decades. Yeah, I've been
Oh,
training
really?
specific people in these things.
This is
Yes.
how you can easily eliminate your competition and eliminate your enemy.
You could, if you chose to so do, yes, you could. This is the honest truth.
Please,
But
I
we
want
don't
to
do
be
that.
trained. I want to be trained. Not to eliminate,
Um,
but
Alright.
to
Right,
help myself forward.
I want you to control me right now. Control my mind.
Onyo,
um,
you're talking about
I
him,
I
right?
wouldn't even bother to do it, because let me explain. For everyone who gets trained, there are traditions which have kept the understandings of these things for generations, for thousands of years, and they hand them down from person to person. Before it is handed down to you, you are observed, you are picked, and you are told and instructed as to when you can use them, when you cannot use them, why you should use them, why you shouldn't use them. So it's not anytime you feel like that you're going to use it. And there are others just like you, trained in the same way, who will come after you if you decide to start abusing of this, because you become dangerous to everyone. And the
And this
teacher,
is not
whoever
from the College
transmitted
of
this to you,
Witchcraft?
becomes responsible. Sorry?
This is not from the College of Witchcraft in England?
No, not from the College of Witchcraft, but the College of Witchcraft, I understand them. It's just a name, the College of Witchcraft. Let me explain. This is English. Witchcraft is an English word. And they use this just to describe a particular set of people from long ago who studied the secrets of nature. And they call them witches and wizards. It didn't mean then the pejorative, kind of meaning attributed to it today. And they continue to use these terms. But to ordinary people, they're like bad people. But I can just say that modern science today, physics, mathematics, chemistry, all of this came from something, alchemy. It was known as alchemy. Alchemy came from something known as natural magic. Natural magic was not distinguishable from any sciences in the past. Not so long ago, even in the 16th century, it was still called natural magic. And then all of this has split into modern sciences that we know today, chemistry, physics, mathematics, and all of that. But all of these things, you cannot, in all honesty, separate any of them from what we call the spirit world. Every science is equally that, just it's no longer termed that. And because science is a search for the truth, science does not want superstition or suppositions. It wants repeatable experiments. We can do this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. We always obtain the same result. This is why it was split into all of these portions. But there are still alchemists in the world who study all of them at the same time and who understand there is a supreme source. There is a source of everything. Whatever name you might give to that source, it doesn't matter. It's still there, you know. And when they talk about the Big Bang, when they talk about going beyond the Big Bang, it's all about these things. The theory of all, and all of these things is referring to the same thing. So scientists are not different from, how can I put it? I don't want to say religious people because religion includes culture, but scientists are people just like before, like the prophets, like whatever you term before, who are seeking the truth. And these people know stuff that they do not always say. When you are a scientist, you get to a certain point, you get to know stuff that you don't open your mouth to repeat. You know, but you don't say. And how do you get your inspiration? It always comes from somewhere, nowhere. You don't even know where. You get these ideas that pop in. So there are what I can call good scientists and evil scientists, in the sense that when you realize the power you have to influence things, there will come a temptation to use this power to serve your interest or the interest of those around you. This is the time you have to think very carefully about this. Why am I using this? Why am I here? Is there a supreme reason why I should be here? Because without this kind of a reason, you're going to abuse. So we had nuclear power, nuclear energy developed and used in the way it has been used for good and for bad. So what we say is witches do not exist. A knife is a knife. Whether you use a knife to cut your potatoes or you use the knife to stick it in somebody's chest is your decision. The knife is not the witch. The knife is not witchcraft. Your mind is where the witchcraft is. So between the person who uses energy to help someone to recover from a disease and the person who uses energy to cause someone to succumb to a disease, there is no difference except in the way they think, in the motivation.
Wow.
The energy is the same, but the motivation is different. Why are you doing it?
Let's see what our doctor has to say about that. Doctor, can you tap a little bit on the mind control thing? I want to use it.
What's
He
that?
has,
Yeah.
well, he has said it all. Yeah, he's right there. Because, like, everyone has their philosophy, but mine, which I think is for most people, is like knowledge is information is unlimited. So whatever he says or whatever any scientist or any field of science says, I think is true, because there have been millions of ways to look at issues, billions of ways to look at a particular problem. Now, to add to what he said, I think I have an example there for let me pick one keen example. Okay, there was someone. I met someone. Someone met me. I don't know who met each other, but we met somehow. So the person told me some certain things is going to happen. Now, this is a physical. This is not I heard or I saw. This is about me and a person, myself. So the person told me some certain things about me. And it was not possible for that person to have that information. It's not possible.
Don't tell me it was a pastor.
Well, it wasn't a pastor. It was just a random person. And I don't know this person. I never met this person. So this person told me, and this happened probably maybe 12 years ago, told me, like, the person found me, or I don't know if the person came to me and told me some certain things about me. So I was like, how did you get this? Because I'm very curious with information. I love it. I study information, So I asked the person, like, how did you get this information? So the person told me to do some certain things that I should buy. Not the person is not in for money, but he told me to buy some certain things so that I can avert, so that she is a lady, so that she can avert some things, so that occurrence might not happen. So I had to call someone, a friend of mine, who understand the person's language to ask the person carefully, because I want to make sure that, because when you want to solve problem, you have to assume. I have to assume that I was not all right. Okay, so I have to call someone so that we know if, if there's some kind of psychological problem. So the person came and heard what I heard. Then now I established a fact that okay, now we are normal. Okay, on so I asked the person to ask her like, okay, what do we need to do? But to cut the story short, now this lady was able to access some information. I wish I can tell you what the person was able to access, but she was able to access some information which it's not possible. Even my parents wouldn't know that information.
Are you serious?
So, that's scary. That's scary.
I heard about these kind of things more. This is not that, I remember I was in Spain and a woman out of the blue comes to me and starts telling me all kind of things that I'm like, who is this idiot and who told her all my stuff, But
wow.
all my stuff, because I mean, come on. I know.
Yeah, actually, some people have some
and she said, please,
metaphysical powers.
you should listen to me. I was like, whoa, this woman. Ha. And me always suspicious. So I was like, this woman, no, who told you? And then she starts telling me things about my future. I must say, some of these things have really come to pass. So I know that these things exist out of my own personal experience. I think all of us will have such stories. But I tell you, for real, this was in Spain. This was, whoo.
By the way, doctor, I want to know, how did your story end up?
Okay, well, I first of all, I noticed that you like to end discussion. You like to get to the root of discussion. Okay. Okay. My story ended up like, well, what the lady said was not far from the truth. Okay, like she predicted something about myself. And she asked me to buy. Okay, let me open up. Like she asked me to buy a cloth. A material. That what she said. That material that they should sew that material so I can wear it. So she said if I should wear that material that is being sewed like a shirt or a trousers, that event that's supposed to take place in my life, that event is going to be pushed forward, but not aborted. Pushed forward. That's what she said. Yeah. So now, then I was a Christian then, like real Christian. So I explained this event to Christian leaders at that time. So they said something which.
Not Christian?
Well, I'm a Christian still, but I just used the word then. Then I was taking it more serious then, but now I'm not so serious.
He's not a member of the church.
It's watered down now a little bit, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So to cut the story short, so then the religious leader then told me something which makes sense. So he told me then that all the Africans are like our origin. That's what he was saying. I think it makes sense what he said. He said all the African people, that is our heritage. Our forefathers were filled with demons. They did many rituals.
What?
So he said they did many kind of evil things. I mean, because they serve demons. Our forefathers, I should say, I use the word demons, that they serve those their gods. So he said that some of them, and it's true, some of our forefathers or great grandparents, they must have done something using their evil powers to hurt people. And he told me that those their sins that was done are not going to end there, that it's been transferred up to the fourth generation, which is true in the Bible. That the sins your parents have done, I mean your great grandparents probably have done, it goes up to the fourth generations. So that was what he originally. Sorry.
No, sorry. I'm just a bit in shock.
Okay.
I forgot
No,
that
it's true. So
my mic
it's
was not off.
biblical.
So,
Okay,
so
he
you
said
bought
that.
it. So you bought the outfit, you wore it, and then 10 years later, the thing happened to you.
So you're saying
Yeah,
that maybe now we're out of it because fourth generation, right?
Yeah. Are you out of it?
Are we out
no,
of it?
and
What?
not really. But what he was trying to tell me was what he was trying to tell me was what she said, that what he said, that
Yeah.
he told me that what she said may be right, but I shouldn't think of it because everybody on earth are filled with problems and forces following him. So somebody tell you your problem does not mean that the lady does not have her own problems.
Everybody have problems.
Did it ever
That's
happen?
the something you don't have
Did it ever happen?
Yes.
on this
Did it
earth.
happen to you?
Yeah, it was a priest. Actually, it's a Catholic priest who told me. So the Catholic priest even told me
Mm.
what might even be upon her is even worse than what. So
I grew up a
So nobody is
Catholic.
exempted.
I grew up
Brad,
a
yeah.
Catholic. That's why I'm laughing. I grew up a Catholic. I went to
Yeah.
Catholic boarding school in Congo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was what ended. So I was happy that day that wow. So I'm not alone. Like we're all having the same problem. So right?
That's true.
Yeah, because someone just met you and tell you something bad is gonna happen to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Come on, of course, something bad must happen tomorrow. Different problems, right? Different things. So
Yeah.
something like that.
Or you're gonna win some money. You're gonna win like in America.
Oh
You're
yeah,
gonna
that you always see in
win
America.
the
That oh, you're
lottery.
gonna win money if you do this, if you do that, if you stand upside down.
Go buy ticket. You're gonna win.
Or if
Yeah,
you pay
but
me
to
some
add to
money,
Mr.
then you're
Bal-
gonna win some money. Yeah. We know those.
yeah, but
But
to
it
add
was
to
very
Mr. Balinga's
interesting, I
word,
must say. Very
there's something I want to
interesting.
say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to add to what Dr. Balinga said, there's something I would like to say, which I also asked a real question now. I asked some of the religious leaders.
Yeah.
So they told me that, which makes sense. For example, you go to a new website. Now you have to sign in. You have to sign up. Sorry, register first. So it is when you register, then you can now get some certain things, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the religious leader told me that it's the same thing in the spiritual realm, that whenever you go to all those people who are all those seer in the road or anywhere, he said whenever you go there first, he said the first thing they will do, they will register you, that you will sign up, unknowing to you.
Oh,
So whenever that
Say
seer,
again?
okay, it means that he's trying to say how we can be how do I say it? How we can be afflicted. How we can be afflicted. Okay, it means that whenever you go to a seer, for example, anybody that sees,
yeah.
he said whenever you go there, now what the seer would do, which he wouldn't tell you, is he has to sign you up. First.
Has to sign you up to what?
Well, there are different. He has to register your name, registration when you sign up.
Sign up where? Oh, you mean online, right?
So
No,
he
not
can
online.
monopolize you.
You are asking the seer that you want to see your future, right? All those people see hand, different kind of seers.
Yeah.
So when you go to meet them, now they will not tell you that they are signed. You have to sign up first before they can. You have to give them permission before they can start taking you. So he was trying to explain how the spirit works, because the guy I was talking to, he sees, actually. He's a pastor, he's a prophet. So he says when you go there to meet them, they have the spiritual people or wherever, they have to sign you up. You have to feel it.
Spiritually, part of the kingdom. You become part of the,
Okay, you asking the guy to tell you about your future in your palm, right? You are asking him. Okay. Now it's just like, let me make it more easy. It's just like WhatsApp. Now, WhatsApp, you don't need to sign up in WhatsApp. Have you noticed you cannot log out of WhatsApp? You are always signing in WhatsApp. There's no, it's either you delete the account or you stay on WhatsApp. You know, WhatsApp is so WhatsApp is so easy. WhatsApp wants you to just be online every time, even if you're not using it, just stay online. Or maybe Rare's website wants you to log in and sign up. There's a different kind of sign up method.
Okay. So, got it.
So the guy was saying that, oh, that guy who sees in the street, his sign up method could be you coming to meet him alone. It means you've signed up automatic.
Okay.
You've signed up. See, tell me about my future. So you are telling him, so which means he has signed you up already. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah,
so,
I get it.
Okay.
So you are giving him permission. You have accepted his terms and condition.
Yeah.
Okay.
You become
now,
a
this
member. You become a member.
The whole thing sounds very funny, but go ahead.
Yeah, so the guy has signed you up first because the guy has a list of his members which he has signed up.
Wow. That's something else. So it's even that is a business, right?
It's a business. Yeah, it's a business. He has his customer list.
Are you one of the customers?
So that anytime he's broke, he can conjunct.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay, so
like going there.
So now you've signed up to his program, then he cannot tell you about yourself. Now, when he has finished talking to you about yourself, okay, you're happy, you've paid him or whatever, you've gone. Now you didn't go, you have gone, okay, but you are still logged into his form. You understand?
Yeah.
You are still logged in.
So what does it mean? What does he do to you?
Okay, that's what he will now decide to do next. Because he has given you what you want. Okay? So you are already logged into that his form, his customer list. So now what the prophet was telling me was that now you are logged into this guy's customers list. So when you go to another city or another place, now you went to meet another kind of people again, right? Another kind of people who see. So now that people you went to meet, they can see your status.
Forgive me that you're a member already of another club.
That you've done something somewhere. Then they know where to continue from. But they will not tell you from that side. They may not tell you, but they can see it's very clear that you have signed up. You are signed up into 5 places. You know.
Well, you know.
So they can see all your memberships.
Membership.
Not serious.
No, doctor. That signing up is in the 6th dimension, right?
Sorry.
When they sign you up, it's not physically; it's in the 6th dimension, right?
Well, probably.
I think.
Yeah, probably. So what the prophet told me was, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So according to the prophet, he was like, when they deliver you, like when the prophet should deliver you, they unsign you up. I don't know if it makes sense. Because now you are signed into 5 places. Unknowing to you, you are signing. So those 5 companies that sign you up, they can send you newsletter every night. Send you email. They can send you email.
What do you mean
so their email
newsletter? Through what? How? On my mind? On my what?
They use it to manipulate you. They can tell you because you signed up already. You are their member.
English, to convey the same message.
That's right.
Because in modern terms, when you get into whatever, like you want a product and the product says go to our website, sign up, right? You sign up, you leave your details there, your email address is there, they send you their newsletters and all. So in the spiritual world, once you access a particular system, a spiritual system, you are now accessible by that system, even when you are not presently there or physically there,
That's right.
meaning that they have some level of control or power over you, over the things that happen to you. They can monitor you from anywhere that you are because you are in their system. So what he's saying is that when a deliverance occurs, it's like closing that account,
Those accounts,
signing
exactly.
out,
The account.
the account from that place. So it's just using modern English to, because we are used to these things. We go online, we go on the internet, we sign up to different stuff. So we already understand how it works on this physical plane. Now the same principles apply in the spiritual realm.
Yes.
That once
As
you
above,
access
so below.
a person's power, you sign up to the person's system.
Yeah,
And
that's
how
right.
do you
I think
sign out? How do people sign out? This is interesting.
Through
Yeah, so you
deliverance.
sign up, that's deliverance.
do a deliverance. Yeah,
What
deliverance.
is deliverance? Sorry, I'm not an English speaker, so go ahead. What is deliverance?
Yeah, you go
It's
to a
a
pastor or a
religious,
prophet.
that's a religious
Yeah.
term.
Spiritual cleansing. Just
Spiritual cleansing.
simply put, yeah, spiritual cleansing
Yeah.
by people who have higher power than those
Yeah.
evil people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when the prophet told me all this stuff,
Yeah.
because before I like to use others, I like to use their service before. You know those guys on the ground who they'll tell you something. So I never knew that I was signing up a long time.
Oh,
So
Sorry,
that's
I'm
too
laughing
late.
because this is too much. But go ahead.
yeah, it's
That's too
true. What,
late.
what the prophet said is true because you went to meet them, so you have seek their service. So when you seek their service, they've signed you up, but they won't tell you they sign you. They will not tell you that you've signed it. They might tell you to wash
So,
your hands somewhere. Different ways of signing in.
so basically, what you must do when you go there, you must say, "Listen, I have a privacy thing, a privacy clause. You are not allowed to sign me up, something like that."
Yeah, but they must
You're
sign
not
it. But they will
allowed to
sign
use
you up.
my private information, something like that.
No, they will sign you up whether you consent or not, because using their services alone is consent that they will follow. So the thing is
That's
this:
right.
be sure of where you go to. Be sure that you align with these people and their motives are right before you access help from them. Because once you do, you are signed up, whether you know it or not.
Or not.
Whether you once you need their help,
subconsciously.
yeah. Once you
You are
need their
there.
help and you need their help, you are signed up.
Yeah, sign up. Yeah. Then they can
This
send you
is
some newsletter
crazy.
and some posters and banners and stuff like that.
So the postcard they send just, okay, send me some money, something like that is takeover now.
That's
Well,
why it's always good to conscious.
Emilia,
our speaker, I don't think he has visited his Nigerian village in a long time for fear of being signed out.
No, well, I haven't visited, but I'm aware of the sign-up process. So whenever I visit, I try to avoid those vendors who sign people. I try to avoid them as much as possible. I do visit.
No,
I
don't
see them.
visit them.
They're everywhere.
you change your password frequently.
Exactly. I saw one in my city around there in Iwe. So my Chinese friend was about going there. So I explained the
In your
process to her. If
city?
you go there, you're going to sign up. So she didn't go there any longer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're also here as well too.
They are here.
In
They
your
are in China. They are in
in
China.
They're everywhere.
Nigeria?
They
Of
call them
course,
palm
in China
readers.
they are there.
Palm readers. They call them
Yeah.
palm readers.
Farm reader, yeah. They're the same people. They will sign you up.
They will continue to monitor your life till
They
you
what?
die.
What?
They will continue to monitor your life till you die.
Oh my God. Jesus.
You know,
Yeah.
this is so funny because some of them would be describing what you are wearing, and they would say, like they were describing what my brother's wife was wearing. My brother's wife was at home, They said, yeah, we can see your wife. She's sitting on a chair outside. She's wearing, and I'm thinking the mathematical scientific side of me was thinking, oh, that's just a coincidence. So stop it. You're just guessing the colors. How many colors are there? She's wearing a blue. Maybe she's just wearing a blue today, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just very skeptical with those things.
Many people are skeptical, but we
their
know
crystal ball,
perfectly well that
their
all these
crystal
things
ball
they exist.
is their crystal ball is more powerful than CCTV. Very very
Although,
powerful.
although, let me tell you though, but you know that when President Kennedy passed away,
Snowball.
did you know that they have those clairvoyants that actually warned President Kennedy, do not go to Dallas, Texas, or you're going to be assassinated? Yeah. When President Reagan got shot, there was a clairvoyant that also warned him of that. Mhm.
Many of them were there, and presidents even, go and see them. Even CIA, you name it,
Sure.
they go there.
Yeah.
People, I think you only must know how do you unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe, yeah.
Unsubscribe, as long as you know how to unsubscribe or find a way of unsubscribing yourself, you're okay.
So actually, I think when I heard that, it was really clear because most of the guys, from what the prophet said, they always try to make sure they have enough customers in their database. Enough. Because if they have enough, just imagine they have enough, so they can now start choosing which one to,
manipulate.
To manipulate, exactly.
To milk.
To send newsletters and stuff like that. And some marketing campaign. Yeah.
But the thing is, if those people who went there and they just don't, react to whatever campaign they're doing to them.
Yeah, but you we are human. You've already signed in, which means take me, which means I give you authority to, So
this thing is very complicated.
It's complicated.
Very complicated. Anyway, I must say it was a very interesting night. It's almost what now?
Yeah,
it was interesting because we're now talking about 2333. 11:33.
That's
half
right.
past 11.
Wow. Okay. Well, I have a walking club that I need to get to and announce who the winner is. Every evening, every day we walk and I announce the winners. Yeah.
No, so I would say bravo, very interesting.
Yeah.
We definitely have to do it again.
Yeah, this is the first time.
I see this more like, a test.
This is the first time
to do better the next time. Okay.
That's right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Bravo. Have a wonderful evening. Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
For teaching so easily, making hard concepts as simple as you did. It was a beautiful class. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot from the class, and I look forward to hearing you again on other subjects.
Okay, thank you very much.
We have one every month. Michael, can
Me
you tell
too.
them about it quickly?
I did learn some new concepts in there.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Even being a math major, my area is not your area. So I was sitting here going, okay, let me read this very quickly so I can understand. But you know what? I didn't even have to read. All I had to do was just listen to you. You simplify things so well. Excellent job. Well done. Well done.
Thanks.
I will tell your professor to give you that PhD, okay?
That's right.
Yeah, you'll get it. Don't worry.
Tell him we're calling you doctor already anyway.
Exactly.
Thanks very much.
You are a doctor already. You really proved for us. Thank you.
Training
our people, eh?
So maybe the next
Thank you
time,
so much.
Maybe the next time you can take one of these areas and then we'll go into depth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys,
So
okay, thank you.
Wonderful evening. With this, we close the whole event.
Okay, sure.
And
Okay, thank you.
have a wonderful evening till next time. Okay.
See you next,
See
see
ya.
you next Saturday.
Bye.
Wonderful
Bye-bye.
event.
Okay.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Wait a minute.
Bye-bye.
That graduation picture, what does that mean? Are you
Oh yeah,
graduating?
let's take pictures of everybody. Can somebody do that?
Yeah, but
Everybody,
I was
please put
asking
your
for the
cameras on.
graduation picture right there. What's
Put
that
your
graduation?
cameras on, and we'll take a picture of everybody. Who's the one who is the IT man?
Okay.
Please, can you take pictures of everybody on screen?
Okay, okay. Let me see if I
Come
can
on, everybody
screenshot.
say cheese and thumbs
Okay,
up.
can you do it?
Everybody, cheese and thumbs up.
Let me take
Yes,
off
Yes.
my
Sorry,
thumbs up.
I'm about to.
Okay,
Okay, so 1, 2.
2, 3.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah,
Excellent.
somehow.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, have a wonderful evening, eh?